Hello, everyone. It's been so long since I've been live. It's been at least, 20 minutes. If you were on the Cringefluencers YouTube channel, you have just seen me very recently over there. And it was great fun, as per usual. And I was very much interested in doing other things, living a life of peace and quiet. But then our good old friend, Davy Jones, master of the sea and land, Dave Hollis, it was made aware to me that he had posted a podcast. And I wasn't going to cover it. And then it started raining. I was going to play tennis today. It started raining, so I couldn't play tennis anymore. All of my excuses had dried up, pun intended. And people on Reddit were demanding this be done. They're very demanding over on the Hollis Uncensored podcast. Our podcast, God. It's been a long day already. People on the Hollis Uncensored Reddit thread are demanding and perfect and great. While I'm here, this is a blanket because it's chilly, but I switched from a green shirt to my Choose Sadness tank, my workout shirt. So if you're interested, hold on. Because Dave has forced me to do a second stream today, we're going to do a plug in the beginning. If you love choosing sadness, Dave loves choosing to leave and re-enter social media at his whim, and we love to choose sadness on this channel. So it is in the description below. A lot of people have been commenting, saying which items they got. This is the one that I am wearing currently. Love it. I love it. And, oh, that's not it. I lied. This is the right one. It's the actual color, too. So thank you. Oh, there's Reddit. Bye. So that's where we're at. So Dave Hollis, if you do remember, he is a person who was married to Rachel Hollis. He's a human, as he would say. He's a human being that was formerly married to self-help influencer and also human being Rachel Hollis. These two, and I said this last night in the stream about, or what was the stream about yesterday? Oh, about Rachel's Rach Talk. I have a feeling that Rachel and Dave are going to get back together someday. Why do I think that, Keya? Why? Why would you say that? Because these two communicate with each other and do stuff for each other more than any other divorced couple I've ever seen. What do I mean by that? Well, Dave's podcast episode is with Gabby Bernstein, of all people. Now, Rachel Hollis has just recently hawked Gabby Bernstein's book and has been quoting Gabby Bernstein in recent days. Oh God. Also, I'm sitting down now. I usually stand. But this is the second one of the day, so we're going to sit. I'm telling you, man. Rachel runs a marathon after Dave, DQs in his triathlon and has this whole thing about how he's a runner and blah, 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 blah. So then Rachel goes and does a marathon, seemingly kind of communicating with him subconsciously, sort of, like kind of saying like, I'm better than Dave. And then also talks about him in the podcast, saying like he ruined her last marathon. Then Dave comes back and says, not so fast. I'm going to hang out with your new idol and talk to Gabby Bernstein on my podcast, which was formerly also Rachel's podcast, because he kept the name Rise Together weirdly and just does it solo now.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, I think Dave was sick of being gone from the internet. Because I don't think he's working.
I'm sorry that you don't have a job.
That one's so low.
I'm sorry that you don't have a job.
One more.
I'm sorry that you don't have a job.
Yeah, he's sorry too. That's why he's back, I guess, to make some more money. So this is his podcast. But I just wanted to, before we get to the juice of today's session, I wanted to revisit. We don't have to read the whole thing because it's 25 pages long. So this is his Instagram. So I thought this was, because he's been gone for some time. Felt like a little bit of time. I thought it was like 2 months. It's been 5 weeks. As you can see here. It feels like a millennia has passed between time from when he made this post to now. It seems much longer. And also, by the way, I don't know if I said this. I have not listened to the podcast yet. I haven't even had a chance. So this is going to be a live reaction. Live reaction time. We're all going to experience this together. Oops. This is like us experiencing Rachel Hollis say she's going to become a music star, singer-songwriter, which I had not heard until I watched this live. Anyway, so he says that he's so sad, he's going through it, contrary to what people want him to be. He's actually a normal person. He's not always happy, despite him selling a book about how amazing and happy he is. That's the summary of the first page. Let's see this. Okay, he said he made the difficult decision, but necessary, to pull away for his mental health. He had anxiety, he has depression. These are things that he's saying. All the things that are freaking hard to admit to all of you, blah, blah, blah. His life has been changed by compassion and kindness. Okay, he's, he's gaining strength slowly, lovely. He's sad to go away from us because he loves us. He has so much love for us all. He felt rejected from his marriage, but he loves us again. Okay, great. He's appreciative of the concern. Okay. This is the part that I feel like we need to address, just so while we listen to the podcast, we can hear what because I've seen on Reddit that he basically talks about what he's been up to these last 5 weeks since he's been gone, 8 weeks since he's been in some sort of program. So he says, okay, I'm going to be pulling away from everything but myself and my therapists for a while. I'm not sure when I'll return, or to be honest, if I ever will. Well, that's BS, obviously, because he's back within less than 2 months. Basically a month and a week he was gone for. Who knows? Maybe I'll find over these months that life void of social media brings happiness I never knew existed. No, apparently not. This is what Heidi and my mom keep hypothesizing, at least. Okay, blah, blah, blah. He's diving in. He doesn't know what's next. He's talking to Heidi. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that was a very summarized version of what he said and why and where he's been. So now that we're caught up, I'm just ready to dive in. I'm ready to dive in. I think he needs some cashola.
I am all about getting a free ride.
Yeah, we know. So he's ready. He's ready to cash in on this. He's been gone long enough. He's been out of commission, not making that coaching dollar, not selling his Built Through Courage in a while. Which, by the way,
it is 18 American dollars.
Still available, I believe, on all platforms and bookstores. And if you're lucky, you might get it on a discount because it didn't do so hot. Might be even less than
18 stinking dollars.
I'm seeing your comments come in, so thank you. Last time we saw Dave, by the way, I saw Dave in the reflections of Heidi's sunglasses. And he's also been still interacting, according to Heidi and her social media posting. He's still been interacting in the Get Fit with Heidi and Dave private Facebook group. She's posted a few times throughout these last 5 weeks where he's been involved, either in Zoom calls or, in Zoom calls. So he's not been completely gone. He's been in the group, but this is the first time he's come back privately. And if I show you here, he's posted a couple podcast episodes, but they've been rebroadcasts, as you can see. Rebroadcast and then rebroadcast, because it's capitalized. And then this one, 181. From running. Oh, thank you, Hiccuping Buddha. That's a cool name. Thanks. Welcome. I see your comments. yeah. Apparently he bought a house or something, maybe, possibly, potentially in California. Who knows? I think he's ready for that. Yeah, he's ready for that Tony Robbins style worship. So let's see. This is what the description says. It's 45 minutes, so grab your H2O, grab your coffee, and then ponder.
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
That still will be the greatest soundbite of all time. Yeah. Oh, I guess. Yeah. I guess the fact that, I'm here, Dave could argue that I should
Get a life.
but tis my life now. All right, so here we go. Dave is back. This is the first interview in a while. I don't know who's writing this. It's obviously, he's the person who's the podcast host, so I guess he's hired a team now. People are writing for him. He's writing in the third person. Dave is back. This is his first interview in a while, and boy, it's a good one, I'm sure. Dave got a chance to have a conversation with Gabby Bernstein, who he picked selectively to bother his ex-wife, Rachel Hollis. No, I didn't say that. That's not what it says. But that's what it is to me. Okay. Gabby Bernstein, who has for 6 years been transforming lives, including her own. The #1 New York Times bestselling author has penned 9 books, including The Universe Has Your Back, Super Attractor, and her newest book, Happy Days. We 100% guarantee, we 100% guarantee you will see parts of yourself in her story. And in seeing those parts, you will have belief of your own ability to get through and past your own trauma. Okay, Dave definitely wrote this in the third person. Dave and Gabby talk about how you can speak to the part inside of you, the inner child that's constantly running from the hard things, and how you can move from a place of always running and surviving to thriving. Dave's book, Built Through Courage, is available now. Dave was recently confronted with the fact that he was living the life someone else wanted for him. After weathering a this is like his, okay, this part is pre-written content from the past, because this is just a pitch for his book, which is ironic because literally I'm assuming this is going to be a whole other podcast about how he's weathered the storm and overcome things. Yet this old copy was written before he had overcome those things. This guy has to overcome a lot of obstacles. And for those people that are just coming on, again, my prediction is that Dave and Rachel Hollis will return into wedded bliss once again eventually, because they literally seem to go back and forth trying to up-level each other. And I feel like secretly communicating via their social media platforms and the public. Because Gabby Bernstein has made several appearances, not herself, but Rachel has mentioned her name and talked to her several times. Thanks, Glenn Doyle. Oh, Dr. Glenn Doyle, officially. Thank you. Oh, yeah. So, first of all,
I will actually do something obscene for you.
that's for you. So when are we going to get an update on who those Star-Spangled Socks from Dave's Patio piece went to? I don't know. I've been waiting anxiously for that. I know Savvy had applied to get those socks from Savvy Writes Books on her YouTube channel. She had tried, I think she had wrote to Dave and said, hey, I want to participate in the giveaway. But I guess since Dave deleted the video, that it no longer counts as a giveaway. But, he autographed them. He signed them in an autograph fashion. So they're basically priceless at this point. So I guess nobody. What if I just had them here? I was like, it was me the whole time. I just had my stinky Dave socks on. That was my secret. That I had won I was just bitter because I had won the socks and no one else appreciated how great Dave's feet had smelled in them. And this whole vendetta against him was based solely on that. But anyways, yeah, good question. I don't know exactly when that's coming. I don't think ever. I think we're going to be anxiously awaiting for many years to come. All right, Dave, what do you got to tell us? Oh, hold on. Dave's, JV. Oh, thank you, JV. $10. Thank you very much. Okay. You want to remix all of the Dave-isms together? You got it, buddy. All right, you ready?
Unfollow me. I'm sorry that you don't have a job. It is 18 American dollars. 18 stinking dollars. Why do you follow me?
It's my favorite one.
If you don't already own my book. But also, I will actually do something obscene for you. Don't yell at these people. I am all about getting a free ride. That is cheating.
And there you go. And this is a non-Dave related one, but this is a new soundbite from today.
That's a red flag.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Now that we've heard Dave in 20 different forms on different sound bites, we're going to hear Dave again on the Rise Together podcast. Ironically, he's alone. Well, he's got Gabby, but his wife is no longer a part of this podcast. Okay, let's go.
Hello, Rise Together listeners. Dave here.
Who?
I am coming out of hibernation-ish in this, my first interview in maybe 7-ish weeks worth of time, and it is a good one. I got a chance to have a conversation today with my friend Gabby Bernstein, and I got
Not out of spite at all.
to tell you, it feels like it was destined to happen today, just before the end of what has been for me one of the most incredible times away in my life. We get into it. But Gabby Bernstein has for 16 years been transforming lives, including her own. The #1 New York Times bestselling author has penned 9 books, including The Universe Has Your Back, Super Attractor, and her newest book, Happy Days. She was featured on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday as a next-generation thought leader, and the New York Times identified Gabby as a new role model. In her weekly podcast, Dear Gabby,
I don't know enough about Gabby to make a determination, but because she's friends with all these people, I'm gonna lean towards not a fan. And I also heard somewhere through the grapevine that she claims that the books, she doesn't write books. Source energy writes through her, which seems to be a way to just disconnect from any disagreement with your book and saying that the universe is writing for you. I always think that seems to err on the side of yikes.
That's a red flag.
But, you know, c'est la vie. What do I know? But I think the most important thing about Gabby Bernstein being included in this conversation is that Rachel has brought her up several times. I mean, to be fair, Heidi has too, but weird.
He offers up real-time coaching, straight talk, and conversations about personal growth and spirituality, and she has grown over time to someone who gets to speak in front of sold-out venues throughout the world. The Oprah Winfrey Network chose Gabby to be part of Super Soul 100, a dynamic group of trailblazers whose vision and life's work are bringing a higher level of consciousness to the world. She co-hosted the Guinness World Records' largest guided meditation with Deepak Chopra and appears regularly as an expert on Today, Good Morning America, and other programs and publications.
What is she an expert in on these channels? Souls? Hey, I'm an expert on souls. Let me tell you about this new what's the thing? Not pediatric. What's the word for podiatry? Let me tell you about this new podiatry that I've just discovered. It's called Dr. Scholl's. And they're like, oh, so, man, we thought we were here for talking about our salvation. She's like, what? Have you tried a gel insert? Okay, let's continue.
She connects with her community through her books, her Miracle membership, and her podcast, Dear Gabby. I am unbelievably fortunate to also call her a friend. I hope you enjoy this conversation with the one and only Gabby Bernstein. What would the world look like if we all pushed ourselves to have candid conversations with people who didn't look like us, think like us, or live like us?
I have never heard this introduction before. I obviously don't listen to the Rise Together podcast enough. What the what was that? Is he like talking to a group of white males? That's his target audience? Because that sounded weird.
Conversation with the one and only Gabby Bernstein.
I need to hear this again. Sorry if you've already heard this a million times. I don't listen to this enough. Let's listen.
What would the world look like if we all pushed ourselves to have candid conversations with people who didn't look like us, think like us, or live like us? I'm Dave Hollis.
Like us. Who's us? Who are you people? Who does he talk to that doesn't look like him? Because it's a woman? Everyone else looks exactly like him. White male. Okay.
And I'm on a mission to learn more about this world by meeting more of the people who live here. You may not always agree with everything you hear.
I'm so sorry. I know we're stuck at the intro. People who live on Earth is who you're interested in? Seems a little vague. People who don't look like me, look like us. Who's us? Okay, I already said that, but I don't know who us is versus them. Us versus them. Who are these people? I feel like we're creating tribes on accident. This music too, my God.
But I guarantee you'll come away more informed on topics you might never have thought to seek out before. This isn't just a podcast, it's a community. And when we raise each other up, we all rise. Together.
Unless we're talking about my wife, who's no longer a part of this podcast. Yeah! Woo!
Gabby, this is the first conversation that I've had with an outside human being in almost 7.5 weeks.
Yes.
An outside human being? What does that mean? You've been talking to people inside? Or you've been self-isolating? Because as we know, that's not true because he's been talking on these coaching calls with Heidi. So it seems like it's bullshit. Maybe publicly, but he's been talking outside of his brain, I believe.
My love.
Yeah. So before we start, and I'm going to probably talk about it because I think there's something interesting in your decision to be unbelievably vulnerable that is contrast to my decision to completely step away from vulnerability altogether for mental health. But I am sitting in a facility that has...
Okay, sorry. He decided to take a step away from vulnerability by leaving the internet. That's probably him leaving was probably the most vulnerable thing he's done, actually vulnerable thing he's done since I've followed him. I think that was probably the most healthy, normal thing to choose, which I guess would make you vulnerable. The rest of his actions have been like an alpha type of I struggled yesterday, so today I am stronger. That's all I've heard from him in his advice or his coaching or whatever. The storms have been swirling, but now I have found my island of faith, like whatever he says. I don't think that's vulnerable. I think actually taking a step back and leaving was the only thing that I appreciated. Let's go back a second because I cut it off like 6 times there.
Because I think there's something interesting in your decision to be unbelievably vulnerable that is contrast to my decision to completely step away from vulnerability altogether for mental health. But I am sitting in a facility that...
Meta Studio. Thank you so much. Okay, Meta Studio wants free Jack. I want free. Jack is also involved with Dave. Jack was the director of Dave's unreleased Built Through Courage documentary, so he needs to be safe from this too. Who are we talking about? Jack. Poor Jack, the video man. He needs to be rescued as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, back to Dave.
It's been life-altering in the 8th week of an 8-week outpatient program that is unbelievable, but all a decision to...
So his keyword of this podcast is unbelievable. He's been unbelievably vulnerable, and it's been unbelievable. So I'm sure he's going to be really believable during this podcast. Okay, I went back 15 seconds. I'm sorry. I'll take a little time to let it run. But there's so much to even point out in this first second of him speaking.
Completely step away from vulnerability altogether for mental health, but I am sitting in a facility that has been life-altering in the 8th week of an 8-week outpatient program that is unbelievable, but also was the byproduct of needing to absolutely 100% step away from all of my life to get.
But also,
So the 8th week of an 8-week outpatient program. So confirmation that he was in some sort of facility. Now, he hasn't said what type of facility other than it's been life-changing, but I'm assuming that the speculation that he was in some sort of rehabilitation mental health facility was correct, since he's confirming it here. 8-week outpatient program. Okay, so he's able to go home at night. He's not in a facility where he's on lockdown 24/7. And it's been life-changing, unbelievably life-changing. So how so? Let's hear.
Get together. And so it's been great, but also unusual in every single way that I've ever known. So you're bringing me back ish. I don't even know what back looks like, to be honest.
Dave, first of all, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm so proud of me, which is also rad to feel for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord. Rad. That's another one I got to cut. Rad. So rad. Rachel's, they are meant to be. Can we just all get on this board? Can we sign a petition? Change.org. Dave and Rachel, get back together, please, already. Settle your differences. You guys are meant for each other. You use the same words. Listen to this.
but also,
Where is it?
But also,
Come on. They had the same catchphrase, but also, and now they're using rad too. I don't see Heidi using these words. Maybe she does. I don't see Heidi saying, but also. Only a Rachel and Dave duo can really stand the test of time. I mean, that'd be a lot of paperwork to get back together, but I feel it in my bones. I'm telling you. My new prediction.
Proud of you. And I'm also very honored to be your first outside voice. And I hope that it will be very soothing for you to
Thank you.
be with me right now. And
That's what her voice sounds
God's
like?
good.
She's got a deeper voice than I was anticipating. I didn't know what she ever sounded like, but wow. And her she's not self-centered at all. She's like, I'm glad to be here and give you calming presence. I'm glad that you're here with me. It's like, okay, whoa. Welcome to the podcast. Yikes. Okay, I went back again, sorry.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you. And I'm also very honored to be your first outside voice. And I hope that it will be very soothing for you to
Thank you.
be with me right now.
I hope it's very soothing for you to be with me right now. What the hell? What's wrong with this industry? God. It picks like the wackiest people, puts them on a pedestal. It makes no sense. These people are insane. Okay.
And God's good. God has plans, because everything that we're going to talk about today as it relates to this very vulnerable book is exactly what you're living and what I have lived. And I just am so profoundly moved that we get to go there in IRL, right?
Yeah, it's real.
We experience this now.
It is real.
Yeah.
What's interesting is we might leave this in. I'm in this window of time where I keep reading this quote over and over that to be lost is as legitimate a part of your process as is being found.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I find myself not totally sure what best serves whatever ends up.
Thank you, Emma K. Welcome. Hold on. Let's see. Emma K does not believe in this.
I am all about getting a free ride.
She's not about that. Or he. Or they. It's not about that. They like to pay.
It is 18 American dollars.
Essentially. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So this first little this is the first time I'm hearing Gabby Bernstein speak, to be honest. I've only heard of her and heard about her, so I was a little caught off guard. Her voice, to me, so far is not soothing, but to each its own. And I didn't catch that last thing he said, so let's just listen to it again. I'm sorry. Okay.
To be lost is as legitimate a part of your process as is being found.
What does that mean? Let's break that down. Being lost is just as legitimate part of your process as being found. I thought he was already lost at sea and that he had solved these issues, and that's why he wrote the book, because he was in such a place of bliss and nautical asphyxiation. I can't speak. Nautical rapture that he wrote the book to help us scallywaggers figure it out. So the fact that now he's lost again, or that he has now found himself found again after being lost again, after 5 weeks or however long, 8 weeks, seems a little unlikely. I think he should take some more time off. Me thinks so. He should probably take a little bit more time than 2 months, less than 2 months, but that's my personal take on it. All right, let's keep going.
And I find myself not totally sure what best serves whatever ends up being next just yet. And in a really weird way, I have always, like, there's an almost impatience in the way that I've tried to approach building or serving or whatever, that always has had to have a plan.
Yeah.
And here I am getting ready to come out of hibernation. And I don't.
Does he know that winter is longer than a month? Hibernation is like several months. Bears go underground and lose a lot of weight and stay warm for a long period of time. Hibernation may be a stretch. He took a long vacay to Cabo. He took a siesta from work. He took a 1 month subscription to Netflix off. He took a free trial to a subscription service. He took a free trial to Disney Plus off. That's not that long. Once you start having to pay for Disney Plus, it's not time to come home now. Come back to the internet. We need more time. We need a year.
Know exactly what next looks like. And I have peace with that for one of the first times in my entire life. And so,
Well, I know you're a man of prayer, right? And I believe that the secret to prayer is to forget what you think you need. So when you give yourself the opportunity to not.
We have prayer secrets now. The secret to prayer is, it's like, how about we not have secrets for everything? How about you let everyone pray the way they want to pray? Okay? Hashtag pray the way you want to pray, okay.com/Gabby Bernstein at AOL. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny. It's not working. Okay, continue.
Oh. Really, that's an act of surrender. To not know what's next, to not know what's coming, to let go, free fall, and trust in what is.
Yeah. The first book I read, first week, so to catch the listener up, if we in fact start where we did, and we might as well, I am talking to Gabby as one of the first outside humans that I've actually had any kind of real contact in any kind of capacity for now 8.
Thank you, Amanda. But also, okay. Hold on.
But also, it is 18 American dollars.
I wish I had the rad. I need to cut rad because it's so relevant these days. Yeah, let's stop keeping gatekeeping prayers now. The 5 secrets to prayers your pastor won't tell you about. Preachers don't want you to see this information about prayers. Let's not do that. Thank you, Kelsey. Welcome. Welcome.
It's worth the time. I'm in the 8th week of having stepped away completely from life, and in stepping away, decided to spend time inside of this unbelievable environment where I'm surrounded every single day with professionals and other humans who are trying to reach for clarity or peace or understanding or whatever around mental health, around addiction, around a whole host of things. And the best way I can describe it is like I have been peeling an onion
Yep.
every week for 8 weeks. I am in the 8th week. My last day is tomorrow.
Mm.
And what I thought coming into this was that I was peeling an onion, which, by the way, every single layer, like onions will.
He can't say that this is related to Shrek because DreamWorks is a direct competitor with Pixar Animation and Disney, and Dave will not have that. He will not stoop to the level of Shrek content. He will not give in to this heresy. He'll just say, I'm peeling like an onion, and this is a new analogy that I've just created within the last 8 weeks. This is just from my brain, has nothing to do with any animated characters that are beloved in other non-Disney affiliated companies.
You cry, make you deal, whether it's attachment in relationships or my family of origin or not processed stuff from my divorce or whatever.
Let's go back, sorry. There seemed to be a lot in that last sentence.
Coming into this was that I was peeling an onion, which, by the way, every single layer, like onions will, make you cry, make you deal, whether it's attachment in relationships or my family of origin or...
My family of origin. That seems like an insult. Maybe not, but I think if someone's starting to say my family of origin, they usually don't like their family of origin. If they're specifying my family of origin and the family I chose. Maybe not every time, but it seems a little bit like there's some separation for a reason. Welcome, Will S. Williams. Welcome, welcome. All right.
processed stuff from my divorce or whatever.
Thank you, Columbia Sarah, for that. I can't do an Australian accent. Thank you. I think $2 in Australian money is
18 stinking dollars.
No, I don't think that's the correct. I don't think that's the correct. What do you call it? Not currency. That's not the correct conversion. It's actually.
It is 18 American dollars.
That's what I think, because the dollar in Australia is worth so much more. Down under. Down under. Okay, that's all I got. All right.
I thought I was peeling the onion, and as I was letting go of those layers or getting some closure with those layers or understanding those layers, that when I got to the inside, I was going to find me, and there'd be this bright, shiny me, and there I was underneath all those layers. And what I've come to find at the end of this journey is a vacuum of sorts and an invitation for me to now, absent from the layers that I've peeled,
Oh my God.
define who I am outside of them.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. That was a sentence, and her response is basically a collective, huh? She's like, She's affirming him, which she shouldn't do, but Shakira, Drumbor. Thank you, Shakira. I used to have a friend named Shekinah in college, and I thought that's who it was for a second. I was like, oh, I know you. Shakira, thank you so much. What I have to say to your request is...
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
Why do you follow me? The world may never know why people follow him. Okay. Did everyone catch that? Because that made no gosh darn sense. He was going to find himself within the middle of an onion, which is not like a clam where the pearls inside. So I don't know what, that's not the best metaphor other than the layers of onions. And then he's going to find himself inside of the onion to then go outside of himself. I think when you get into an industry in which you're trying to explain complex topics to people so that they can comprehend them and use them and apply them in their daily life, it's important to actually make sense and to not overcomplicate simple ideas like taking a step back and working on your mental health. That should be simplified as opposed to complicated the way that Dave does it. He literally takes something that's pretty simple, like, okay, like I was going through a rough time. I went to this outpatient facility. I started to work on all the different aspects of my life, and I found out that, I still have some work to do. That's probably what he's trying to say, I'm assuming. But instead, it comes out in this weird, ununderstandable, unintelligible, speaking in a foreign language subtitle.
Which is...
Okay, here we go. Let's listen to it again. And everyone get your pencils out and try to write it down and make sense of this map that we're about to go on.
What I've come to find at the end of this journey is a vacuum of sorts and an invitation for me to now, absent from the...
So within the onion, in the middle of the onion, after he went through all the layers, he found a vacuum. We were talking about doing merch, different merch ideas yesterday for the future, and one of them was Free Jack and Jeff, which Jack is the videographer and editor of his documentary, and Rachel's editor and videographer, and Jeff is their dog. And it would also be a good idea to put on the board a vacuum, like a Hoover vacuum, blooming from an onion. It'd be a little niche, but I think it would be kind of funny and cool. And it would really confuse people. And they would start the conversation to get people to open up about their inner thoughts and the vacuums that we find in the middle of these onions that we are walking around with. Hire me to coach you to become a better person.
That I've peeled define who I am outside of them, which is exciting, but also in a world where I like predictability or certainty, it's a little daunting.
But also,
as I return to my quote unquote normal life, to get to decide who I am and how I'll be, and the idea of surrender, the first book I read in that first week was Radical Acceptance. Just accepting that this is in fact a journey that I'm on that may not have road signs, as it were, to give me a heads up as to where it leads to necessarily, and trusting that it...
Road signs? You're going to use road signs after you just wrote a whole fucking book about lighthouses? God. He needs help. He needs someone to guide him on these conversations. He needs an assistant to literally remind him, Dave, don't forget, yesterday you wrote a book about lighthouses and boats. When you're on this podcast, try to fucking tie that in. Don't say road signs, say lighthouses, because it's not on brand, babe.
To exactly where I need to be is a part of this process.
Yeah, and I think that, to add to that, you've been on the journey. This is just another direction on the journey. This is a deeper dive in so that you can continue to come out new. You signed a contract in this lifetime to come in and feel big shit and use it for good.
Excuse me, ma'am? You came into this life and signed a contract. Yeah, I remember signing that contract. It was, thank you, Columbia Sarah. Thank you. For that Australian.
it is 18 American dollars.
I know. He's been, he is the equivalent of Tony Robbins in the Rachel Hollis and Tony Robbins interview. Dave is now, I guess it's maybe a male thing, perhaps. They don't let the person that's also in the conversation speak. It happens, Okay, Gabby Bernstein, she said her prolific addition to this conversation 8 minutes in was, you came into this earth signing a contract to experience big shit. Experience a big shit? Because that happens more than once. That contract was signed, sealed, delivered daily. No. But the contract that I remember signing with Dave is when I followed him, before he blocked me, but when I followed him, was that if I was to take his free advice, I was obligated then to buy his book that cost
18 stinking dollars.
That was the contract. That was the social contract that he made sure to bring up during his Pancake Gate Instagram Live fiasco. That's the only contract I'm aware of. And I said this on my Instagram the other day about this concept of, and I think this is what Gabby Bernstein is alluding to. Oh, thank you, Brittany Clark. Oh, thank you.
Don't yell at these people. I will actually do something obscene for you.
Which one's your favorite? Let me know. I'll throw in a non-Dave related one too.
That's a red flag.
There's been several red flags during this podcast thus far. But thank you again. But going back to the Gabby Bernstein inclusion here, it seems like she's inferring that we sign a contract, like we choose our parents. We as human beings come from elsewhere in the universe, spiritually or whatever, from planet Xenu or whatnot, and we come from there to Earth, and we choose our parents. We choose the life we want for some reason bigger than ourselves. Therefore, which, okay, that concept is stupid. Sorry, but it doesn't make sense. But let's say you believe it. What's the harm? What's the harm in believing that? Well, I think, slippery slope, you are abused by your parents. Oh, well, you must have chosen that because you signed a soul contract to come to this earth to experience the life in which you have chosen to experience. So anything bad that happens to you is your own choice, and there's some deeper meaning behind it. And I am 100% against that mentality because I think it just allows people to feel bad that they've caused all of the bad things that have happened in their life. It causes people who have luck and to have things good happen to their life feel like they are somehow morally and solely above other people. So I don't think it helps anybody to believe in those things. But that, again, is my personal opinion. Let's continue.
And so God gave you lots of obstacles so that you could do that work, so that you could come out the other side. Because there is a commitment, there's devotion, there's a desire to feel free. And I can say the same for myself, you know. The journey doesn't end. I feel very much on the other side of that now, having experienced many traumas like what you're experiencing now, many bottoms in my life, from addiction to remembering trauma to postpartum depression and suicidal ideation to right here, right now, feeling fucking awesome and free, and have my face on the cover of a book that says,
"Thank you, Mandy. I hope you like it." Choose sadness, everybody. Okay, she's got her face on a book is the last thing Gabby Bernstein said.
the path to freedom and inner peace.
Yeah.
The path from trauma to freedom and inner peace. And so the reason I bring that up is that we go to these places that scare us so that we can keep coming out the other side. And the deeper we go with each gentle moment, or sometimes not so gentle, we have this tremendous capacity to begin to get closer and closer to that safety within, and to that security within ourselves, and to that internal parent that can give us everything we didn't get before. And I love this quote, this Amma quote.
What's she talking
When
about?
an eggshell is cracked from the outside, it's broken. But when it's cracked from the inside, it's reborn.
Ooh, gosh, that's good. That's a good word.
Lord. Oh. Thank you, Luisa Guerrero. Luisa Guerrero. A hippo character in a tactical gear does tactical flanking maneuver. That's what I'm seeing on my end. I cannot imagine what you're seeing on your end. A hippo doing tactical maneuvers. Thank you. And for that, I will say,
I am all about getting a free ride.
me too, Dave. Me too. An egg. It just sounds like these people like just find these, and I don't know if she's come up with this quote. I highly doubt it. It sounds like another person who is not attributing quotes to their rightful owner. And I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, that she came up with that. It seems a little bit more prolific than maybe someone, a book author in 2022 would have come up with. But just the way that they say these quotes, it's so funny. It's like, can you believe? Or what, they say that an egg cracked from the outside is broken, but an egg cracked from the inside is also broken, but from the inside, outside of this life in which we live together inside of vacuums of an onion. Wow, so profound. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a good quote. It's not a bad one, but it's like, how is this? He didn't say anything about his parents not treating him correctly. She's talking about all her traumas in her life. What trauma has he gone through? Some hate on the internet? Some well-deserved criticism, critique, as he's someone who has stepped up to the plate and talks about several times in his book that the price of admission to having an amazing life is people criticizing you. So he's well aware of what it looks like to be put on a pedestal. People are going to, criticize you with every right to, I think. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not, my first interaction with Gabby Bernstein, I'm not a huge fan of her at this point, currently. And of course, he's going to just lap it up too. Like, oh, wow, amazing, mind blown, woo, quote. So deep. It's like an egg with a white egg is bleached in the factory, but a brown egg is also bleached in the factory. Whoa! Oh my God, that's crazy. I never thought of it like that. It's like, yeah, come to my conference. I got more of those. Like, what is? Okay, whatever. All right, keep going. Interlude.
Ooh, I love that sound. That is the sound of another sale on Shopify.
Thank you, Anna Lee McAvoy from Canada. I don't know if you were here the other night, but Canada is not acceptable here. We only accept.
It is 18 American dollars.
Yeah, Dave's socks are not for sale with American dollars. They're only for sale. Oh, sorry, they're not for sale for Canadian dollars. Only American dollars. So sorry, but we also accept
18 stinking dollars
from the country of stinking. We do accept those. So make sure to tell YouTube which currency you would like to use. Okay, so apparently he's doing a Shopify commercial with some interesting sound bites that are more interesting than mine.
The all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives...
Does he know how to read? Why does he read as if every word is its own word? It's a thing that is a platform. Cha-ching! Like, what? What a weird cadence he's got.
Entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business.
It's like he recorded each word separately, and then someone had to edit them together somehow. Okay.
Possibility. TikTok, Pinterest,
We still on
and a
this?
whole bunch more. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com
What is Shopify thinking? Can you find a different podcast to sponsor? What the hell are you doing?
right now. Shopify.com/rise together.
Your book starts with
Yikes. Sounds like they're about to go to like a 20-minute commercial break in the middle of like a soap opera or something. Such a loud sound. Jeez. Okay.
line that's also just kind of stuck with me in the midst of this journey. The decision to step away from life or social or every meaningful relationship in a way.
Meg Summers in the house. Welcome, welcome. I can do that for you, but make sure not to.
Unfollow me.
And if I'm too close to the mic, I'm sorry. I will make sure to tell myself.
Don't yell at these people.
That's a red flag.
That's not Dave, for the record, but my new favorite soundbite. Thank you, Meg Summer. I appreciate that. All right, now we're back to Dave talking about how amazing he is.
Inconveniences them is hard. It has been hard. But it's also one of the things I think I will have the most pride for having the courage to do something that I needed to, in some ways, save my life, change my life, make my life better.
This guy wrote a book called Built Through Courage, yet the most courageous thing he's ever done happened after he wrote the book, built, past tense, through courage. Ironically, in response to having several meltdowns because of the lack of success of the book entitled, once again, Built Through Courage. This guy, if people buy this, not the book, but buy this line of reasoning, there's no hope. There's none. I mean, this guy is delivering absolute chaos on a platter. And I think most people are seeing it for what it's worth. But if people are still believing this and support, I don't get it. I don't understand. I know there's stands in every person, but this is just too far. It's too far, people.
You have this quote at the beginning of your book: "I'm free from my past because I became brave enough to face the deeper reasons behind my suffering and fearlessly show up for healing." And on the days when the inconvenience to my ex-wife or my kids or my partner or myself.
His ex-wife, that's Rachel Hollis, soon to be future wife. No, I'm going to stop promoting that. Or will I? I don't know. Partner. Okay, so he's got a partner, so that means he's still with Heidi. Confirmed.
That's a red flag.
We know. The whole relationship's a red flag. Okay, so he's an inconvenience to everybody. But however, I'm sure it's going to turn out fine because this is a Dave Hollis story, so I'm sure it's going to turn out to be more than positive. If anything, he's better for it, always.
Just what ends up being hard work, digging into things that I've historically not liked to necessarily spend as much time sitting in the feeling of. I keep coming back to like, man, at least have some pride for the willingness to dive in, even when it sucks or even as it's inconvenient. And I appreciate that about you and the way that you've approached this book, because the trauma in and of itself, is a hard thing, but also some of the stories are stories of having inconvenienced the people that you care most about and how something beautiful grew from it.
The courage that you have to go to the places that scare you is your greatest strength. And the greatest accomplishment in this lifetime is the bravery and the willingness to go there. So while you have
your greatest strength. Okay, I'm going back. I'm sorry. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep a 4-word sentence straight in my mind with these people when they talk because they speak in such a weird way.
Scare you.
But also some of the stories.
Someone write this down. Put it on a needle thread pillow.
Are stories of having inconvenienced the people that you care most about and how something beautiful grew from it.
The courage that you have to go to the places that scare you is your greatest strength. And the greatest accomplishment in this lifetime is the bravery and the willingness to go there.
That does not make sense. Just for the record. I can't even try to explain what I think she means. I'll let them explain. Why am I trying to explain for everybody? Let them explain it.
So while you have created many credentials in your life and built up a lot of outside storylines, none of that fucking matters.
Yeah.
What is your greatest accomplishment in this lifetime is where you are right here, right now, and titrating slowly and safely into these experiences of your history that you want to restore and resolve and reprocess. So, bravo.
Not to be mean, but this sounds like I'm talking to somebody in the bathroom of a club. It's 3 a.m. Everyone's wasted. and this girl comes out of the bathroom and she's high on something. And I'm trying to wash my hands, but there's a line, and she looks at me and she's just wants to talk. And this is what she's saying in this exact voice, in this exact cadence. And I'm just trying to get out of there, get in the Uber, and go home. That's what this reminds me of.
Congratulations. Sometimes we have to inconvenience others so that we can save our soul. And trusting that this temporary inconvenience will be the greatest gift you give them as well. But you got to focus on yourself first.
Yeah. I've been an advocate of mental health for as long as I can remember. I've gone to therapy, but I don't want to say it was lip service because, man, I definitely leaned in, but I've never had an experience where I was as immersed and as engaged for a period of time as long as this. And I can remember when I first was trying to figure out what to do and where to go to help me in the way that I felt like I needed help most. The idea of committing to something for 8 weeks at first seemed unbelievably too long. I just couldn't imagine what we could still have to talk about.
But the courts insisted. No, I don't know. People online were insinuating that, that he might not have chosen to go to any sort of in-person or outpatient or anything. And that it was more the courts are saying he needs to. And I'm not saying that. I don't know for sure, but it almost sounds like that. Like he's saying well, I thought 8 weeks was too much. I mean, who else's decision would it have been if you said 8 weeks is too much? And it's not inpatient. It's not 2 months inpatient. He was still living a life. He was still on having lunch and breakfast and whatever with Heidi and stuff for at least the first few weeks. And he was still doing not live streams, but he was still doing stories and stuff from his rehab room or whatever. So it makes me feel well, maybe there is some sort of thing with the divorce that Rachel's forcing him to go to some sort of thing for 8 weeks. Speculation again, but it doesn't seem like who is telling him that he should do 8 weeks if it's not his own brain saying this is something that he needed.
8 weeks in, and here I am, right? Basically I'm in 3 therapy sessions a day, 5 days a week.
Nice.
And it is
awesome. I kind of want to go.
Trust. The thing is, I wish everyone, and I mean everyone, had an opportunity to do something like this. There's never been a shortage of something to process. There's never been a shortage of something to learn, even in hearing a story from someone else and how they're processing their own grief in their own divorce or their own trauma from their own relationship with their parent or whatever it might mean, has brought insight that would not have been made available. But what's really kind of sat with me is that I think part of what has been beautiful in the length of time is that the attempt was to normalize sitting in discomfort with the feelings that come up in dealing with our trauma or our pain or
This is what his whole book was about. I'm all for it. I'm 100%. If you've ever heard me speak in any of these streams, you'll know 1,000% I am a big traditional therapy supporter. I am in traditional therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, where I talk therapy, where you go for a long period of time. I go twice a week. I've been going for 2 years straight. It's helped me so much. Nothing to me beats it because the person hears you, you're talking. I would, back 2 years ago, I would have probably also benefited from a in-person, even an outpatient more, intensive therapy, but it's expensive, and if you have to work, like most people have to work to, make an income, taking 8 weeks off or even 8 weeks to go for 5 hours a day or whatever he's doing is not possible for a lot of people. So he's coming from a place of privilege, number one. So not most people could do what he even got to do. But I'm not knocking him for supporting therapy and talking positively about therapy. I appreciate that. I'll give him a check mark, a green flag for that one. But I don't know. It's a little bit too little too late. You already wrote 2 books now, he did, about how he's overcome trauma, how he's overcome his divorce, how he's overcome all the obstacles in his way. So the fact that now he's saying, oh, I didn't overcome anything until 8 weeks ago, it's like, well, should I go throw my book away then? Should I just like erase all? Are you going to address all of the tips and all of the credentials that you set forth in these books to explain why it was going to change my life? Or are we just going to like, I mean, I know the answer. The answer is you're going to put it under the rug and go, forget it. I'm going to write my next book about how great this therapy was, and then just push that one and say, this is the real book to buy because the other book didn't do well anyways. Ugh. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm tired of them talking in circles because it's tiring for everyone involved. Albags83 from Europe. Woo, 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 woo.
That's a red flag.
Where in Europe are you from? Let's see. What did you? She says, have simultaneously asked the universe for the same. I'll keep you posted. Oh, from Northern Ireland. Welcome. Okay, Ireland, you're okay. I'm Irish. I'm half Irish.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Since you're from Ireland. That's awesome. I went to Dublin once. I went to Dublin. Okay, I'm not even trying to do the accent. I went to Dublin once and I went to Galway. And I don't think that's Northern Ireland, but still, I was in the country. I can hang.
That is cheating.
I know. I'm not very good at geography either. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's go back to this hoopla.
Or, self-loathing or whatever it might be, for long enough outside of the way that we might traditionally distract ourselves or mute that pain, such that it becomes something that you now have created a habit around. Like I have an ability in a way that I wouldn't have necessarily thought I wanted to develop, but man, I am so grateful for having it, that says you can sit in discomfort. You can have that pain in your solar plexus when you feel super uncomfortable having to think about this thing, and you can handle it for days on days in a way that when it comes up,
I'm sorry. My apologies to the people of Ireland and Northern Ireland. I regret everything I said.
Of course, it's going to come up when I'm not surrounded by all of the great support that happens to exist inside of this amazing outpatient thing I'm doing, that says, hey, you can handle it. You can handle it without reaching for a drink. You can handle it without distracting yourself with workaholism. You can handle it without thinking you got to show up online in some certain way. You can handle it.
Yeah.
And that has been just...
Thank you, Kitty Mervine. I love the descriptions because I don't get to actually see the stickers in their, if they're the GIF form, but I get the description. And it says, hippo character smacks his hands onto his face and looks around to see if anyone saw what he just saw.
That's a red flag.
Don't yell at these people. That is cheating.
I like it. Thank you very much. It sounds like it's a hippo day, a hippo chat today. There's a lot of hippos doing tactical advances on each other. It's dangerous in there.
Gift. I mean, such a gift. I couldn't have imagined it.
I want to tell a story to you that may give you a great sense of pride in what you're going through. So when I was 36 years old in 2016, I had probably like 6 or 7 books under my belt. I'd been on Oprah. I had built up a big business that was really supporting and serving a lot of people. I was probably 11 years sober at that time, but I was really dying on the inside, seriously struggling with workaholism, cracking, running, and doing really good work. So it was like
Cracking? Like cracking the whip or like cracking the egg? Cracking from the outside or the inside? There's a difference, Which side of the egg are you on, Gabby? I'm assuming she's saying she's on the outside of the egg currently, or at least when she's discussing this time period of her life.
this really strange thing of people sort of praising me for this great work and believing and knowing that the work was profound and that I was so elevated in it, but at the same time burning myself out because I was running.
She was cracking, running. She likes to say things in threes.
Aware of what I was running from, unaware of why I was a cocaine addict 11 years earlier, why I was now a workaholic. And then I started cracking and having real big meltdowns and breakdowns and meltdowns and breakdowns. And my mantra at the time was, I can't go on like this. Sound familiar? Yeah.
Very, very familiar.
Yeah. And so then.
Which part? The cocaine addiction or the cracking and not being able to move on? Please clarify. I'm sure you won't, but please clarify.
I had a dream. And in the dream, I was an adult confronting being sexually abused as a child. And when I woke up from that dream, it was so real that I was like, no way, push that down, never touching that ever again. When a few days later, I was in my therapy and she asked me some leading questions and started opening up some awareness. And in that moment, I really remembered and accepted that this did indeed happen. And while that was the most terrifying moment,
I wonder who her therapist was. I'm hoping to God it was not Teal Swan. That sounds like something Teal Swan would do. Like, oh, you had a dream? Oh, it must be true then. I mean, I'm not saying, maybe it is true or whatever, but I don't think my therapist would do that. Maybe not. I don't know. Who's to say? It's hard to know without all the details. That sucks that it happened to her. But I don't know how this is related to Dave. She's like, oh, you can relate? I hope he doesn't say like, oh, I relate to that, if he can't really.
My life, it began my deep dive inward. It was the moment of accepting that this wasn't just a journey of personal growth and spiritual development, but it was a journey of recovering from trauma. And that day and years that followed it, even several months in particular that followed it, were really, 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 really tough and really hard. But I built up the team around me. I was brave enough to go there. And now here in 2022, I could write.
Go where? I missed something. Sorry.
Several months in particular that followed. It was the moment of accepting that this wasn't just a journey of personal growth and spiritual development, but it was a journey of recovering from trauma. And that day and years.
No. Okay. At least in 2017, Teal Swan and Gabby Bernstein have a picture together. Stand by. Am I a genius, or are they just so predictable? Both. Hold on. That sounded like a Teal Swan thing. And if you're not familiar with Teal Swan, she's a very controversial spiritual guru who I think is dangerous and scary and also a money hungry person. But it sounded like, because she's got a thing where she tells all of her followers that basically they have unresolved trauma from their childhood, very Freudian, but in the sense of like more like, not in theory, like everyone, she's like, oh, you're crying, it's probably from a repressed childhood memory. And that's her whole thing. And I just searched Teal Swan, Gabby Bernstein, and lo and behold, they have at least one photo together. It doesn't mean that was her therapist, but me wonders if that could be the reason why she said that. Here's the proof. Okay, that they're together speaking. Someone says, I can feel your auras. Lovely. Okay. Let me know if anyone knows if this is something, like, is this actually her therapist or no? It's not a big deal, but I'm just curious because she's not a therapist. Let me just clarify. Teal Swan is not a real true therapist. She claims she's a spiritual healer, which means nothing. That's not a real thing that you can be, credentialed for. Like I am a hot lady is not a credential. It's just a statement that I've said about myself. And that's what Teal Swan claims to be. I'm just looking really quickly. What is this? It's like a song? What is this? Oh, this is a podcast from the Hay House. Okay, one day I'm going to cover Teal Swan, guaranteed, and Gabby Bernstein, separately most likely. And there's apparently a podcast we can listen to. So we'll put this on hold for now. Sorry for getting off topic. I'll find this out later. We'll come back to this at a different time. Back to Dave Hollis. Thank you for listening to this aside. Okay.
That followed it, even, several months in particular that followed it were really, 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 really tough and really hard. But I built up the team around me. I was brave enough to go there. And now here in 2022, I could write the book about it and share the guided path from trauma to healing and inner peace. And so I share that with you because...
Also, last thing I'll say, I've fallen in my chair for some reason. Okay, that's better. Just because you've gone through trauma and you're better for it does not mean you are qualified to teach anyone else about how to get through their trauma. Full stop sentence. Can we please tell every self-help guru that from now on? Just because a person has accomplished something themselves does not make them a qualified therapist or able to teach anyone anything. You just don't. Especially maybe physical stuff, maybe even then. Just because you're a bodybuilder doesn't mean you can teach someone else how to get into the shape that you're in. But definitely not mentally. It's very dangerous. You need to be with someone that's able to know the difference of traumatizing you, not traumatizing you, gives you decent advice, especially not advice of, well, you signed a contract when you were born on Earth. No, ma'am, I was not. Sorry, I did not sign anything as a 1 second old baby. Neither did you.
But this is the message for you. I said to my therapist, I said, why am I remembering now? And she said, because you're safe enough in your system to remember.
Wow.
And so I'm going to say the same thing to you.
There's a lot of controversy about this concept without even the Teal Swan aspect. Some therapists believe that, yes, you can repress memories and that they can come out when you're safe. And some people say she said that the therapist asked her leading questions and that these memories could be planted by an untrained professional. So not to say that she's lying. I'm not saying that at all. But there's a lot of controversy about it. So don't take this as God's word that, this is true and this is what happened, because experts, both credentialed, go back and forth as to whether this is true or not. This phenomenon happens.
Well, it may not be a memory. It may be that you're facing into things you just haven't touched on ever before, right? So you may have known they were there, but you didn't want to go there. But why you're going there now, why you had this bottoming out now, this cracking open now, is because you've done so much work to get to the presence of safety to really know that you could carry on and that you could go deeper.
Makes me want to cry a little bit. I resonate so much with the idea of running. I'll just as a for
literally
example.
running. You're
literally running. No, but literally running. It's an interesting thing because in the aftermath of divorce, the first thing I did was put on my shoes and run, almost like a crazy person. I mean, maybe literally like a crazy person. I ran 250 miles in that first month. Mm-hmm. And what I can see is that the running and then the pouring myself into writing a next book, and then, I'm going to do a documentary, and then I'll do a kid's book, and then I'll make sure that there's a men's event, and everything. It came from a very good place of, man, I legitimately was interested in serving, but it also was like, I'm going to outrun this pain. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna work hard enough to not have to really sit that often by myself to handle the things that I don't want to have to deal with
Okay, so of course, because now it's in retrospect, looking hindsight's 2020. Now he's looking back, he's like, oh yeah, I did all these things. I, wrote a book and I ran 100,000 miles and I, started a book club and then I did this and that. And it's like, yeah, everyone basically could see that that's not healthy. I think everyone on Reddit that, criticizes the Hollises could tell that he's running himself ragged. He's traveling. He didn't say that here, but he's traveling between Texas and Arizona, like every 5 minutes, every day he's on a plane. It's like no one can sustain that. That's obvious. It's not like, oh, wow, big breakthrough for most people, I think. They're like, yeah, that seems unsustainable overall to be able to keep up that type of lifestyle. And yeah, he just got divorced. He instantly jumped into a relationship immediately with Heidi. No one thought that that was a good idea either. But he was the one who wrote a book that said, no, you're wrong. I'm right. Buy my book for $18 stinking.
$18 stinking.
And I'll teach you the way how to live your life. He claimed that, if you had $0 in your bank account, that you should somehow beg, cheat, and steal to find $18. He didn't say that exactly, but he said somehow come up with $18 because it will change your life. Yet, will it change your life? Yes, that's his exact quote. So I think I need, as a listener of Dave, a huge apology. He's like barely, he's acknowledging that he made mistakes and whatever of his own life. But how does that affect your audience? And how does that affect people who trusted you? How does that affect people who took your advice to heart to change their life as you have claimed that the book could do? There's no apology. Like, I really messed up. I was coming from a place that I was not, I shouldn't have come from. It was a trauma response, whatever. Sorry. I need a solid, maybe it's coming because I haven't heard this podcast yet. So maybe it's coming. Maybe there's a big old apology for Keya coming personal apology. I doubt it, but you never know. I can be surprised. Well, let's see.
The pain and the trauma of the divorce, or the way that the couple years of crazy building ended up feeling, and like there were things, and I was like, oh, I'm going to outrun these things. And it's interesting because there was something in like 18 months post-divorce where things were working, and I think because they were working and I hadn't yet processed things, I resonate with this idea of like, oh, you're ready to deal with this stuff now. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, because of how busy you are, you won't wake up to the fact that you need to deal with it until the foundation that was never reinforced with some, rebar, crumbles and you fall, and you are, kind of forced to your knees to have to get back up. And it's a big part of why, again, as I'm like getting ready to transition back into the quote unquote real world, this question of like, what's next? Like, I'm having to work against a lot of muscle memory as an achiever who's always kind of run fast and poured himself into doing. The exercise of being still is something that's forced in the environment that I'm in right now.
There's literally a whole chapter of him like, I went to Arizona just randomly, Tucson, nothing to do with Heidi, I'm sure. Yeah, right. But the timeline was too close to the divorce, so I don't think that they want to, say that he was there. But again, speculation. Anyways, he says he went to Arizona to sit on a rock, and he sat on that rock for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours after the divorce and overcame his trauma from the divorce and wrote in a notebook, and that changed his life, and therefore you should write in a notebook too. And here's an illustration of this notebook that I kept and wrote on in the book, and then in the documentary that never came out, he said that the ending scene was him sitting on a rock, talking about stillness, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Again, it's like, if that wasn't true, how dare you put that into a self-help book and say, oh, this is what helped me? Do you have no... I'm not going to accuse him of this, but I feel like someone who does this, hypothetically, seems like they don't have respect for their audience. Because he doesn't have credentials, he's only using his own life story to motivate people and to, like, follow me, do what I did type thing. If he's not healed 100% and feels confident in the abilities to teach on these subjects, you don't respect the audience then, and your viewers and your readers. If you are hesitant, or you're like, well, I'm not really healed, but I'm going to tell people I am, you're only hurting them. Hurt yourself all you want. If you're not healed and you want to repress your stuff and like not deal with it, that's fine. Your kids are going to suffer, your girlfriend's going to suffer, but that's your life. That's your personal business. But don't take it out on people who trust you and are needing help, probably desperately, if they're reading this book. it just doesn't seem fair. And as someone who's holding himself up as a leader, as a literal ally, he has an ally tattoo of how much of an ally he is to people. It just seems like the contract is broken. The social contract that doesn't exist, between trust of readers and author. You should at least try to be honest. And it seems like he's like coming forward now saying, oh, I've healed myself now. But what about back then? And I think someone said in the comments, like, yeah, offer refunds. If he offered refunds and said, look, this book was from a place of like total bullshit. Sorry, I'll do better next time. Like, trust me, I'll give you a refund. That's how serious I am. I would have a lot of respect. But otherwise, it's just like, I lied. Too bad. So sad. If you're stupid enough to be on the team that supported me, you're dumb. That's how it reads to me. Because basically, everything that the haters were saying came to be true, is what he's alluding to. The people who supported him, he's actually looking down upon now and saying like, well, I didn't do any of the stuff that I said I did. So who was actually caring about him more? It seemed like the haters, because they were actually saying like, okay, he's saying this, but I don't think he's really taking care of his mental health. Isn't that usually the sign of someone who actually cares about you? Anyways, I digress.
And so I'm going to try and carry that into what's next so that I don't make the mistake of learning as much as I feel like I have in these 8 weeks and then discarding it immediately so that I can get back into a full throttle run that might distract me from whatever is meant to be revealed. And it's going to probably be hard.
I have some really beautiful guidance for you right now. So the runner, let's call him, I don't know if it's a male, but I think it would be. We all have these different parts of ourselves. And this is what I'm referencing right now is internal family systems therapy, which I've most recently.
I love.
You love IFS. Okay, great. Well, I just got I'm now trained in IFS, so I'm here for you at any time.
Thank you.
And we have.
I don't know enough about this type of therapy to give any critique. I don't know if it's woo-woo or if it's traditional. I have no idea, so I'm not going to comment at all.
Different parts of ourselves, and these parts are protector parts that protect us from feeling the impermissible feelings that you've been so brave enough to start to touch into in the last 8 weeks. And then we have exiled parts that we run from, literally. And in your case, one of your protectors is the runner, right? And then there's the worker. And then there's whatever, you have other parts, but one is, we've already identified the overworker and the runner. And inside all of us is also what is known as self. And self is the undamaged adult resource part of who we are that does not have the baggage, that does not have the suffering, that is just love, compassion, curiosity, calmness, committed, connected, all these, curious. And so what I would love to give you right now is a chance to create a relationship with the runner and self and yourself. If you're open to that. I don't know if you want your 5th therapy session for the day.
Yeah, no. Oh man.
Why not? We're in it
all day long.
So I don't want to name the part for you, but which feels most like to serve you the best right now? Which part of you do you feel most sort of afraid of right now, or stuck in right now, or worried about coming up when you get out of here?
I mean, so much of my feeling worthy or loved has been connected to the way that I have achieved over time. And so the runner is like the emissary for the ambassador for, I'm going to go out and do these things, Dave, so that we can show them that you are worthy of love, so that you can connect to and feel loved. And that.
I know it's harder to tell like something about yourself. Like it might be obvious to others, but yourself, it's harder to see because it's you and you're in your own brain. But none of this stuff is shocking to anyone that critically thought about the situation. 2 people that had a very public marriage, company, business, very not open completely, but open about their sex life and about their relationship, their children, for the internet to consume, to sell books to people, to consume all about their life, and then to get divorced, and then to jump into another relationship within like, a 3-month span, and then to be traveling all over the country, writing books, saying that you're healed, doing all this stuff. to no one else, like I said it before, it doesn't seem like this is the only person that was unaware that this was not a good idea is Dave. And he's trying to sell it of like, oh, wow, like I really was like, really changed my life. It's like, all you really did is do what you should have done in the first place. Like what most people do. Like you get divorced. It's a hard time. You sit with it for a little bit. You figure it out and you don't claim to have all the answers immediately upon ending. And I wonder, this analogy with the runner, I don't quite understand. I get like running away from your problems, but I don't get quite like how deeper they're trying to take it. Like the runner, like, as some sort of description for your inner personality. But I wonder if it's some sort of, this came up because of Rachel running the marathon without any training and running for love. She's claiming she's running for love, and Dave's running out of fear. It's like, like you're doing it again. The thing that you just said that you're not going to do, you're doing it again. And he's here. It's only been 5 weeks since he left the internet. He's already on a podcast, basically using his own life as a teaching method again. It's just, why don't you go work in an office for a little bit? Why don't you go and do some angel investing? He's got money. Like people say, he's got some money. He has a house. He could sell the house and move into an apartment if he really wanted to, have money to be able to live off of for a while. I'm sure he's got stocks and stuff. So yeah, I don't buy it. It's like, he's saying like, oh, well, I have to do all these changes while also posting and producing podcasts. It's like, no, you don't. Who's saying that you have to? No one but you, because I think he wants the attention, the love, the adoration from all these women that say, you've changed my life, and, that's powerful. I don't know. I think I'm just going on a tangent now. And I saw people were talking about the INF stuff. Yeah, I wonder. I don't think she's a therapist. I don't believe she has any credentials for therapy. I think she's a spiritual healer or whatever. So I'm curious too to see how Gabby Bernstein got a traditional therapy type from what you guys have said. I'm not saying this is what it is because I haven't looked it up, but how she would get a traditional therapy certification if she has no prior background. So I'll have to look into that too. I'll write that down.
Relationship, unfortunately or fortunately, has worked well over time because I have been able to achieve, but in the absence of achievement, connecting to love or self-loving self has been a thing that's been harder.
I'm going to stop you. So let's just tune in. Let's not even talk about it. Let's just feel about it. So, so the runner, we're willing to work with the runner. I got some back in here. Okay. So the runner, just check in with your body, maybe close your eyes and just notice where that part of you lives and where if you might feel anything or if you see a color or have a sensation, just notice what you notice.
Yeah, same place in my chest, just above my belly button. Yeah. Okay.
Is there a gender?
Whose chest is just above their belly button? My belly button's here. My chest is up here. There's a good foot of distance for me. Does Dave have a belly button that is higher than the average man? If so, that's the type of stuff I want to hear about. This is the type of content I'm interested in. I saw... Okay, yeah, that's what I was... Something just popped up. Keya, thank you so much. My God.
It is 18 American dollars.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I am imagining the Shiba dog wearing samurai armor, writing "You're amazing" in the air with sparklers. It's pictured in my mind's eye right now, and it will be my spiritual leader for the next 50 years. $1 a year. Thank you so much. This deserves a song.
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
And just for good measure,
unfollow me.
Thank you. That is very, very generous, and I appreciate it greatly. All right, we're going to go back. Thank you, Kanga. Okay, God, I'm sorry. Just should have muted myself there.
No. Though I've always historically identified parts as male, but
Okay, there
it
you go.
doesn't necessarily. Yeah. So I'll say male. Yeah.
So it's a male part. Okay. Does this male part, the runner, have an age?
Younger. It's like my 22-year-old, 23-year-old.
Thank you, Consciously Kayla. Oh, yes. Trained, not certified. These people are so sneaky.
That's a red flag.
Trained. I've been trained. How? I read a book on it. Okay, that's not trained. It's like Tony Robbins saying, I coached Bill Clinton. It's like, oh, did you meet him one time? Because that's what it seems like he considers coaching for celebrities. I coached him. Like, oh, you bought a session with him at his political fundraiser? Okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. I was trained. Like but the implication is when you say you've been trained in something, is that you're certified in it. Especially like, oh, I've been trained in I don't know. I've been trained in emergency medicine. You'd be like, oh, okay, this person knows what the heck they're doing. And I'm like, yeah, I watched ER. The fuck?
That's a red flag.
If your training consists of watching ER or General Hospital,
That's a red flag.
and also on your MCAT,
That is cheating.
that doesn't count, just for the record, so everyone knows. Thank you, Kayla. I appreciate that. Okay.
Self.
Just to remind everyone, Dave is imagining an imaginary runner within his chest belly button area, which apparently is this much apart. He's like, it's my chest right above my belly button. So apparently he's a 3-inch torso. He's 6 foot of leg. I guess I've never seen him without a shirt on, so maybe. We'll never know. And he's imagining this character who I guess is also a younger version of him inside. So that's what we're doing right now.
223. Perfect. Okay. Any images that come to mind? Any thoughts? Anything that you notice? Anything that you need to check in with here?
No, I mean, the image that I see is this image of like, I'm going to take over the world version of me, like a confident, but also like.
Thanks, JB.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Because you're from Canada. And around here, we only.
It is 18 American dollars.
He was very clear. American only. I'm very sorry.
That's a red flag.
All right, back to Dave.
And like, I'll show them.
Okay, cool. How do you, Dave, this beautiful resourced soul with me right now, how do you feel towards the runner? How do you feel towards him?
A mix. Like, I want to say, like, man, you're going to go do all the things that runners do. And also, I want to tell him he doesn't have to run.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Does he know that you're here?
I'm so uncomfortable.
It's a good question. I don't know.
Does he know I'm here?
Yeah, now he does.
Okay.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Does he know that I'm here? My name is Gabby. I wrote a book. It's 18 stinking dollars. She starts doing her own promo. I don't know. I get uncomfortable. Like, this guy is obviously in the midst of a personal crisis that he may never recover from, most likely. I think this is now going to be his return, just like Rachel did her return. And they'll try to come back, but it's an uphill battle. You know, you got to fight back past a lot of stuff, especially when their whole group, they're groupies in the self-help space. A lot of them probably aren't going to be so receptive this time again, you know, to welcome them both back and into the fold, to promote each other. That seems to be a big part of this, like, self-help space. But, like, still, even with all that, it's just, like, I don't like hearing people cry. It just makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't feel like I'm benefiting from it. I just feel icky and weird about it. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I'm glad, you know, being vulnerable is great, but, like, it's not really helpful to be vulnerable in that way, to me, to hear someone cry. Thank you, Dana Bowling. Thank you. What did you say? It's a pear character doing a classic mic drop.
That is cheating.
We're using hippos today.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Pears and hippos. The Pear and Hippo Show.
I am all about getting a free ride.
I am. And so is Dave. Like, thank you, Dana. I appreciate it. Dave crying does me no good. Does no one really no good, other than maybe someone who's afraid to be vulnerable or something. Dang! This chappy lit. Hi, MP from Canada.
It is 18 American dollars.
That is the rule on this channel. American dollars only. We also accept
18 stinking dollars.
from the country of stinking. So if you don't use stinking or American dollars,
That is cheating.
however,
I will actually do something obscene for you.
and I will make sure.
Don't yell at these people.
And you are not.
That's a red flag.
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. We're taking a little intermission here. Thank you, Ashley Copeland. Thanks for all you do. You help my trips to the doctor much easier. Oh.
That is cheating.
If you go to the doctor and have a good time, it doesn't count. You have to go back tomorrow and do it all over again. No, I'm just kidding.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Tell your doc, and he can join, and I'll do something obscene for him.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Yeah, just wanted to reiterate that again. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go back to Dave crying so we can move on from it.
I just want to extend a lot of love and compassion to the runner right now, and just major acknowledgement for his bravery to visit us and to connect with us in this way. And I just want him to feel my my genuine compassion for him. I understand him. I had one myself. I have a runner myself. Let me ask him if he didn't have to run so hard and be in such an extreme role, what else would he be doing?
Goodness. He only knows how to run. I mean, that's the thing that comes to me. I don't know that he knows a role.
What would he be doing? What would he want?
Okay, I just thought of something. Dave, not the runner imaginary child Dave or whatever he's imagining right now. Dave didn't actually run until he was like 36. So the fact that he has no memories other than running is just historically inaccurate. What did he do before he ran? He physically said he could not run because he was too tall, and he didn't run until he was in his 30s. So why would this be his younger version of himself mindset? What did he do before? What did he do before he became Rachel Hollis's husband when he was like 27? There's got to be some. That's a whole lifetime for some people. I'm 30. That's basically my whole lifetime. 27. Like, okay, if I just cease to exist at this point and then move forward, I would have no memories. Weird that he's picking this analogy. Now that I think about it, it's weird.
What would he be doing?
Well, I mean, I think he wants to try and help me, protect me, serve. His role in my life is to afford me love. It's just, unfortunately, a weird way of delivering it.
So if he didn't have to protect you, and he knew that he was safe with you, that you were safe and that you were protected, what would he be doing instead? What would he want to be doing?
I'd like to think that he would be enjoying the back patio with some music and relaxing.
Not the patio.
Yeah.
Not the patio of peace where the infamous Pancake Gate erupted. Dave needs to find a hobby. That's my prognosis, my diagnosis, my suggestion, my prescription. Find a hobby. Running, great. good physical activity, yet it's still just a workout, you know? It sounds like for him it's becoming a coping mechanism. Not good. You need a fun hobby. Painting, woodworking, I don't know, bird watching, something that's not related to something that's like you're going to give advice about, like, oh, you got to be physically fit. You got to join our fitness challenge. Like nothing like that. Nothing that you could turn into something sellable, monetizable. Something completely unrelated. Bowling, curling, ice hockey, I don't know, something. And so he can stop, because even now the patio piece that he's bringing up is like the alternative. He's sold that. He literally has a series that hasn't been updated in a while on YouTube called My Patio of Peace Interviews or whatever. So he brings people to his patio of peace, other self-help grifters, to talk about their own products and discuss life and whatever. Stop monetizing everything. Even his like inner child is the younger version of himself, yet it's doing an activity he didn't do until he was in his later part of his life, and also something he used to sell and, you know, make money from, the stories that he told about running and whatnot. And that was his limiting belief about running. So it just seems inauthentic. Like I was buying it for a second because he was kind of crying and stuff, but then now I'm like, okay, no, he's just trying to like bring up stuff that he could sell or that is part of the vernacular of Hollisville. Like everyone knows Patio of Peace. Everyone knows that Dave had a limiting belief about it running. So now I'm like, I don't know if I buy it again. I'm kind of out of this again. I feel less sad now.
Can you just close your eyes for a moment and just visualize the back patio? You're there, music's playing, and you invite him to join you. Just let me know what you notice about that and what it looks like, what it feels like, anything you notice.
I mean, this is so terrible. I noticed that I haven't been there to make everything look good. So I'm actually going to ask the runner to go tidy up before we can even enjoy it. And that is a terrible thing to even like have pop in my mind. But like the lounge chairs aren't ordered.
Okay. So let's settle back into the perfect patio. It already looks perfect. It's done. It's settled. There's a chair waiting for him. Can you see yourself with him right now?
Yep.
Just for the record, as I've promoted therapy during this stream and many others, this is not how my therapy sessions go whatsoever. No, this is how my life coaching sessions went when I was with a life coach who turned out to be sort of crazy. Before I realized that there was no accreditation or certification or credentials needed to be a life coach. Before I figured that out, I already had one. And she would do stuff like this with me. And it didn't help me personally. But in real therapy, we sit and we talk and just like, how do you feel about that? I've noticed a pattern in you when you say this, how do you feel? How does this relate to this? Like, that's the questions. They're not like, she's not like, think about yourself as a baby bird cracking from the egg. It's like, there's none of that. Just so if that's what you're thinking therapy is for everyone, it's not. It's much more traditional for some people. I don't know what this therapy is. Like I said, I don't know.
Anything else that you notice?
It's just peaceful.
It's peaceful. Nice.
Yeah.
How do you feel towards him right now?
Bizarrely compassionate.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hug him.
Can you visualize yourself hugging him?
Yeah.
How does he feel towards you right now?
Seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you be open to making a commitment to him that you'll bring him back to this perfect patio?
Yeah.
Host him and hug him?
Yeah.
When you notice him wanting to run?
I will. Good Lord. Holy goodness. Yeah. That's good.
You did a beautiful job, and you did it. It's so profound when it's happening and it's working, because when you said, I feel compassion towards him, the number one quality of self energy is compassion.
Yeah.
And so that compassion towards him was very clear sign to me that your self energy was present with him.
Mm.
And he's a young protector part that probably showed up way before you were even 20, but really became prominent in your 20s. And he's been protecting you, protecting you. And what you've just showed him is that you have an internal parent. You are the internal parent, and you can actually take care of him.
It's interesting. There's been so many profound, I've seen it, I can't unsee it moments in this Odyssey. But the one question that has, just stood out from just one of the smartest doctors of psychiatry in the history of time. We were playing this game of word association.
Don't say Dr.
She would name somebody that's important in my life, and I was meant to just say the first thing that came to my mind. So say my dad, my mom, Rachel, whatever. First thing that comes to your mind. And then she said, your inner child, or that little boy inside of you. And the words that came to my mouth, and it was immediate, was listen to me. And it made me, I burst into tears in a way that I just have not cried in a long time, but I've been on this onion peeling odyssey to try and find a way to connect to this self, whether it's, an inner child or otherwise, in a way that can let me see that child, but can let me hear and listen to that child. And in a crazy way, in a way that I hope I'm trying to not be so judgmental of myself, of why haven't you been listening? Because my first instinct is oh, you should have been listening. Why wouldn't you listen?
None of us have been listening, sweetheart.
Yeah.
We've all been running in our own ways.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
And the running
Yikes.
in a crazy way is complicit in the inability to hear. And so they end up, of course, being connected.
So the part that wants to be seen and heard, all you have to do is notice him and send him love and compassion.
Yeah.
Get curious about him because he wants to be seen, right? So what if you just got curious? I said, okay, man, what do you want me?
I'm sorry to stop. I saw some of the comments were stop stopping it. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. But also,
I will actually do something obscene for you.
So, as an apology for stopping it too many times, I had to stop it though. At this point, that was a big chunk of time. This whole thing that she's doing does not feel good to me, and also doesn't it almost take away from some therapists or some people will say, thinking of yourself as someone different, well, that person in the past was someone different. That guy, I don't even recognize that guy. That was 5 weeks ago. Doesn't that take away from owning the responsibility of, no, that's me? And her doing this whole thing with the runner inside of you, who's the little baby child who's crying and is this and that. It's how about it's still you inside? It's you in your brain. It's you. The past you is still you. Take the responsibility and, it's you. Give yourself compassion. Don't give the little baby thing inside of you that doesn't exist passion or compassion. I don't know. I'm getting into the nitpicky, gritty stuff of it. That doesn't really matter, but I'm not really buying this as very helpful to me personally.
How about you? What do you need to tell me?
Yeah. It's so strange, the achiever in me too. My immediate reaction to this revelation was, okay, so what is the checklist for hearing or listening well? And she just laughed and was like, Dave, it's going to happen on a walk. It's going to happen at a time when you might not even be expecting it. You just have to be attuned or open or willing or intentional about listening. And I'm like, okay, but no. The checklist is the thing I'm looking for. And she's just like, that's not how this works, man. There isn't a path that you get to go down and it unlocks it like a board game. It's something that happens because of an interest in, or an interest and an awareness of it being a thing that you need and that it needs. And I'm like, okay. So here I am walking, sometimes, for very long periods of time.
So I didn't catch the name of the person that he said he got this advice from, but so now he's saying maps don't work. It's not like you just get on a map and head in the boat and head out to the island in which you are leaving from safe harbor, blah, blah, blah. So that doesn't work anymore. So can we throw away the maps, please, that he's created for us during the book club?
Just in a posture of listening, and not like listening to music, but literally just walking. And there's been healing in that too. Who knew?
You know,
Of course, everyone knows, but I'm learning it.
it's like, as a parent, it's actually really profound because in Happy Days, I have a whole chapter about reparenting yourself. And it combines IFS with some of the methods of Dr. Dan Siegel, who I'm sure you're familiar with as a parent. And Dan,
I'm going to look that up. Dr. Dan Siegel. Okay. Everyone write this down so we can take notes. Dan Siegel and IFS. That's what that came from. Okay, I'm going to avoid that as not a parent, but I'm going to avoid that in any future lessons.
his work is really about seeing the child and really seeing them for all their emotions and soothing. And he has something called the 4 S's, which is to be seen, safe, soothed, and secure. As I was applying these with my son Oliver, who's 3, I started to realize, wait, what if I use these 4 S's on myself? So when you notice the runner show up,
Okay, I'm pausing it, but for a bad reason, not a bad reason, but a real reason. I have to pee so bad. So because this is so long, I'll be gone 2 minutes, I promise. If you can't stay long, I apologize. However, I promise.
I will actually do something obscene for you.
Maybe, if you wait it out. Okay, I'll be right back. Ayo! Hi. Okay, I promise. That wasn't too long, right? That was like basically no time at all. Thank you everyone for staying here. I should have played the song, but it's only 30 seconds, so it wouldn't have really helped that much. Okay, back to business. We're here. We're ready. We're learning about how maps don't work, and everyone knows that. Dave knew. He knew the whole time.
or another part that's so vulnerable that just you want to run over, right? Take a moment to just ask it, how can I see you? What do you need to be soothed?
Yeah,
That make you feel safe? And that's how you'll help them be secure.
I love it. You mentioned this book. We should talk about this book.
We actually have been talking about it.
We have been talking about
I'll
it.
tell
of
you
course.
why, because every single thing that you are living right now is proof that this inner work is the most profound work of our lifetime.
Yeah.
And it took me, I was joking, it took me 42 years to write this book because it took me my lifetime to really get to this place, this current lifetime, to get to the place where I was safe enough to really go to these places to bring this forth. And in the cracking and all of the bottoms along the way, I was cracked open to the presence of my own desire, much like yours, to become free. And I was going to be willing to do whatever it took to get there and use every privilege I had to get the therapy I needed. And you know what? There's no shame in that, right? And that's also for the listener who's like, I don't have the ability to go away for 8 weeks, or I don't have the therapy. Well, that's why I wrote this book.
Oh,
because
God, here we go.
Okay, if I'm going to have these support systems in my life, I have to become that support system for others.
Yeah.
Through these words. In the guidance of this book, I share my journey of what it means to survive and thrive from trauma.
So what you're telling me, Gabby, is that Dave should have skipped this 8-week thing, spent the time with his children and his family, enjoyed his life, and just read this book? Psh, he should have told us. He could have saved a whole bunch of money and time by switching his car insurance to Geico. Speaking of, this has been an ad for Geico the whole time. This entire stream. Surprise! Geico. 15% off can save you 15% or more on car insurance.
That is cheating.
Okay.
Every single one of us has trauma with a big T, trauma with a small t, and it's going to take us down ultimately if we don't actually look at it. And we're living in such a horrific time with so much more trauma in such a heightened way that a lot of those exiled traumas are getting very activated because we are not feeling safe in the world. So there's never been a greater moment in time for us to begin to do the inner work and to build up the arsenal of support system and spiritual practice and therapeutic practices so that we can actually self-soothe and reparent and care for our inner children. And so that this entire conversation is just profound proof that not only is this what we all need, the human condition, we all need this kind of message now, but that we need a guided path. If you've literally been on an 8-week guided path, it's going to change you forever, and you're going to take it home with you, and you're going to keep applying it. And
Maps are out. Maps, especially sea maps on the ocean blue, so 2021. Now we're all about guided paths. Take notes, everybody. Guided paths. Got to add it to the bingo card arsenal of buzzwords that are meaningless. We're marking off harbor, seas of harbor, harbors of safety, and maps of meaning. That's Jordan Peterson. That's not Dave Hollis, but guided paths. Yeah, very different than a lighthouse on a map of the ocean.
like I said earlier, I mean, not everybody has the privileges that you and I have had to have, like every, therapist on speed dial and teachers on speed dial and whatever, right?
No. Sorry, I know that was a quick one. Do not equate therapists and spiritual teachers. Please don't. To me, they are not the same. One takes many years of credentialing, continuing education, and one is just a self-anointed, I am speaking to a higher being. I have the records from ancient times. No, you don't. No, you don't.
So that's where this type of material comes in for somebody, is that this is the journey. This is my path. And in my path, you'll recognize that you are not alone. So you'll feel the release of shame and the release of your self-judgment and attack, knowing you're not alone. And then you'll be able to take a deep breath and say, oh, there's the plan. That works. There's a path. My path might look different than the reader's, but my path is laid out so that it can inspire the reader to dip in and dip out and find that therapy that, if it's SE or if it's IFS or if it's EMDR and all these different acronyms that you can learn about here, to know that there is recovery and that there's support systems. And then inside the book, all the methods that are going to guide you in the moment. Yeah.
I'm blown away by where you go in the book in terms of your vulnerability. I mean, it's interesting because vulnerability has certainly been part of what my life has been about, and kind of sharing a lot about everything. felt like it kind of tipped a little bit for me into something that wasn't as good for me as it had historically felt like it was.
Monetarily. That's what he means to say. It dipped into not being profitable, so therefore there's no reason to do it anymore. When I was with Rachel, people loved my vulnerability. They bought my book the first time. The second time after the divorce, and I was fake being vulnerable the same way I did it before, but I was divorced now with a new girlfriend. No one was buying it. So therefore, I ain't doing it no more. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me.
That's a red flag.
When you want to be vulnerable when there's profit, that's one thing. When you want to be vulnerable, that's true vulnerability. Or you want to be vulnerable because you're trying to help somebody. That's what they call manufactured authenticity, is when you create a vulnerability. Like, I couldn't run. I'm so embarrassed. Or like if I was like, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm so fat. Look at this. Oh, I'm so fat. I'm not really upset about being fat, but I want people to think that. Like, oh, I'm being vulnerable. Even me, this really fat girl is really scared of being fat. It's like, that's not being vulnerable. That's just like showing like, look, I got over it. You can too. Pay me money now. It's not true vulnerability. So I think that was reading between the lines what he was saying.
And so as I've not been on social media for...
Thank you, Sasha Wilt.
I am all about getting a free ride.
I am. I didn't see that pop up on my screen. I don't know what your what it said, but what your emoji was. But
Don't yell at these people.
I won't. Thank you. I appreciate it.
7 weeks, and I don't know that I'll return.
Yeah.
And if I do, it'll
Really
certainly
happy
be
place right now anyway. So you have
yeah. Well, but it's an interesting thing because and the thing is, if I do return, certainly it will be in a different way, because the way that I was being vulnerable, as it were, was having a bad effect on my mental health. It wasn't serving, and I just appreciate that you found yourself at a place where you could share these stories, because they're important and they are an empathy bridge to anyone who picks the book up, for sure. And also, it requires that you are in a good place, a really good place, to be able to share them.
And that's a really important point, because there's definitely parts of my career where I was vulnerable, maybe too vulnerable at times. And I wasn't in the seat of my own security to be there. And that's why I knew I couldn't write this book until I was on the other side.
Yeah.
So there's profound beauty and
side.
grace in being vulnerable, and it's a gift that we give others, but we want to make sure that we're in the seat of our own solution before we share that vulnerability with others.
So
That's not what Dave did. He literally shared his vulnerability when he was in the middle of feeling like shit, apparently, according to his own words. So good advice, about a year too late, but thank you. Appreciate it.
all right, we're running out of time. So I want to offer you an opportunity to gift this audience with a single thing that you think they need most today, whether it's related to the book or not. It could be a thought, a quote, an idea, a comment, a takeaway, something that might afford them peace or a breakthrough. What is the single Gabby thing that somebody listening today desperately needs?
Okay, so place your right or left hand on your heart, whichever hand feels most soothing for you. And then your other hand on your belly. You can test out both hands, seeing which feels best, but likely the first one you did is the best for you. And just take a deep breath in and close your eyes if you're not driving. And just tell yourself and all of your parts.
If you close your eyes while you're driving, I do not take responsibility. Please sign the contract in which I am not responsible. See, I told you, this whole stream was leading up to this moment, talking about Geico Insurance. She made sure to make it clear that if you close your eyes while you're on the road during this meditation, she's not responsible. You know who is responsible? Geico. Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And all the ways you've been protecting yourself. Say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for working so hard to keep me safe. I have so much compassion for you. I'm so committed to you. I'm here for you. And I accept you and I love you, and I'm committed to helping you feel safe. And just take that in and let that go.
I I've crashed my car.
I love you. I think we should do this every day. Call it at the same exact time. And I will slowly buy you a boat in exchange, like I do my therapist.
Wow. I love you. I will buy you a boat. Okay. Weird flex, but okay.
You
know
are
what's
amazing,
funny
Gabby.
Is it's not funny, but the last interview we did was when you had just gotten divorced.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
A moment, yeah. And then you were in the runner, and now you're in the survivor and the thriver.
I don't know. He's the survivor and the thriver now, of course. He said he was the survivor and the thriver the whole time, but no, he was the runner then. But I'm sure if we were to go back to that podcast or whatever it is, it would be like, I am doing amazing. I am ready to help all the people who are lost at sea. I will go find them on my plank of perfection and pull them to the patio of peace, perfectly positioned, possibly profound. I don't know. That's all I got. I ran out of peace. Okay. He's gonna buy our boat. Cool.
Right now.
Yeah. It'll be, and this is what's wild. I was going back and forth with a buddy yesterday who also happens to work in the space that we do, and I am so connected to hope, and I also don't know what form it takes. And that's never been something that's happened before.
Right.
I've always had to know what it was to have hope for it.
Right.
Dave, you wrote a book in which you say, if I was ever gonna leave my harbor of peace, I don't remember the exact term, it's not that, but it's like my safe harbor. He wrote a whole several chapters about how when he got divorced, decided to leave the harbor and take all these risks and make all these changes, and how he had the best year ever. He said last year was his best year ever. Okay, he says that several times throughout the book. It was his best year, the hardest year, but the best year ever. And now it's like, let's listen to that last part again, just real quickly.
I am so connected to hope, and I also don't know what form it takes. And that's never.
And he's like, I've always had to have, understand exactly where my, plans were going, where I was going. He has a whole thing. He uses a quote like, I had to leave the shore in order to see the other side of the ocean, or whatever he says. So is that all bullshit? We all knew it was bullshit, but now you're just confirming it's bullshit with no apology. That sucks.
Been something that's happened before.
Right.
I've always had to know what it was to have hope for it.
Right.
And
have hope for peace, for inner peace.
And the thing is, I do. I mean, I really, really do. I also, have hope for this experience is coming to an end tomorrow. And I believe that it is about 25% of the way done. In that I think a good 3/4 of what I'm going to get out of this time that I have gifted myself reveals itself over the next however many months, years of time, as I continue to unpack and process the things that I've been able to see. And there's a lot of hope that comes in that because of what I've already been able to experience in a short period of time.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, Gabby,
That's right,
if people
guys.
who are listening are not yet diehard fans and followers of yours, where do you send people on the interwebs to learn more about you, know you, stalk you? Where?
Well, you can go to deargabby.com to find out more about me. Get the book wherever you buy your books.
We'll do
if you
that
feel
now.
Called. And I have a podcast called Dear Gabby where I workshop people just like I did with you today.
Oh, great.
with
We can have a whole podcast where she workshops people into believing they have little Thetians. What's the Scientology one where they got the little aliens, Thetans inside of them, and they give them names. And then you can feel compassion for them. She'll do that for you too on a podcast. Only if you buy her book.
It is 18 American dollars.
love and compassion and very open heart. And I hope to be of service in any way that I can. And I hope that someone that's still listening right now, if they're still listening, that they hear me say that I'm proud of you Because by listening to this conversation, it means you're brave enough to go to these places with us. And we are proud of you.
Guys, we're brave enough to hear their conversation. It's so profound. We're brave enough to take the courage that we were built from Dave's book, in which he lied to us for 200 pages about how great he was doing after the divorce. We're the brave ones to be able to listen to their amazing conversation of healing and hope. Pirates, pages, patios, and porridge of peace.
Wow. Thank you, Gabby. Gabby's book is called Happy Days. It's just out, so rush to support her. And having read this book, I guarantee it. It's a 100% guarantee. You will see parts of yourself in her story. In seeing those parts, you will have something in belief of your own ability to get through and past your own trauma. Gabby, I love you. I appreciate you so much. This was a fantastic way to reconnect with a human being outside of this space. It could not have been better. So thank you for being so gentle and generous with your time. I appreciate it.
What an honor. Thank you.
Her book is Happy Days. It's the history of the 1950s show. Has nothing to do with healing, help, or hope. It's actually just all about the Fonz and the impact he had on American culture. Wouldn't that be funny? That's who I want to hear interviews from. People like that. Let's go to deargabby.com just for kicks and gigs. Kicks and gigs. See, that's the toned down version of that phrase. Okay, Dear Gabby. I should write her a letter. Dear Gabby, I'm feeling conflicted. I was following a map in which 25 lighthouses were guiding me towards my purpose. Now, my idol Dave says that maps don't work. It's all about guided paths. How do I feel about this? Her response is like, what little path goer do you see inside your chest cavity? I don't know, Gabby. You tell me. Here's our girl, Gibby. She's an A. She's in place of the A. Okay, let's see her credentials, because that's what I'm curious about. That's the most, because she's given therapy over podcasts. Let's watch this video. How about that? Who is she? Who are you?
What's up, everybody?
Ooh, she's got the, okay, so the voice is just not an anomaly. That is her voice. Okay, just checking.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Get ready. Welcome back to Dear Gabby, everybody. Big show today, guys. This is my show where you can come on and ask me anything. You're on Dear Gabby. No small talk here. We don't get into backstory. We just go big talk. Got me? You are worthy of what you desire. That's the work here. This is Dear Gabby. Love you. Bye.
I learned nothing. I hate these. They're supposed to give you more information. Like, okay, what are you talking about? Hi, I'm Gabby. Okay, got that in the title. Don't need you to explain that. I'm going to talk about things that you deserve. Okay, like what? Love you. Okay, thank you for no information whatsoever. Here's Happy Days. The guided path from trauma to profound peace and inner... Oh, sorry, I can't read. The guided path from trauma to profound freedom and inner peace. Says you, who I don't know your credentials. Okay, let's read it. About. Oh, she's a junkie. Spiritual junkie.
That is cheating.
That is cheating. Meet Gabby. She's the #1 New York Times best-selling author, as most of these people are somehow. International speaker and spirit junkie. Whatever that means. All right. I've been on a spiritual path most of my life. It all started with me sitting by my mother's side, meditating in ashrams in upstate New York. Oh, is she a Nexium girl? Upstate New York, that's Albany, right? Could be. That's where Nexium was. Dang. Okay. Need citation. I gotta look that up later. Gotta look that up. Gotta add that to my list. I turned to spirituality on and off throughout my teens and early 20s. I was a dabbler until my darkest hour. It was spirituality that saved me in October 2005 when I hit bottom and got sober. The day I chose sobriety was the day I became a spirit junkie. I started soaking up spiritual principles, meditation practices, and anything else that helped me get aligned with my new true purpose, to be a source of love and inspiration for the world, or in the world. Can you just decide you're going to be an inspiration for the world? How do you inspire people to do? When she got sober, that's good, but like lots of people do that. So she's going to be an inspiration. I guess you don't have to be. I don't know. I guess if you're, I don't know. I'm sorry. You can be an inspiration to people without being a teacher and someone who profits from this. I just feel like if you're going to be a motivational speaker and have all these sessions and stuff, like you should probably have some sort of experience or some sort of credential, but I guess do whatever you want, girl, slay. Okay. Today I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author of 8 books. My mission is to help you crack open. She loves crack. She loves eggs and cracking. She said crack, 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 crack. My mission is to help you crack open to a spiritual relationship of your own understanding so that you can live in alignment with your true purpose too. There are many ways that I can help you, no matter where you are on in your spiritual path. Let's start with my podcast, Dear Gabby. So I've heard no therapy credentials. Okay. Dear Gabby is a weekly show where I offer up real-time coaching, straight talk, and big love. Episodes include unscripted QAnon. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'll take that away. Unscripted Q&A sessions where I coach listeners through life-changing transformations, plus free-flowing conversations about personal growth and spirituality with unique and inspiring guests. Thank you, Miss Dove's Eyes. You put a lemon character doing shoulder shimmy dance moves. Well, a dance move inspires me to play songs.
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I loved your comment earlier about therapy and to check them and make sure that they don't do this type of stuff. This is not what real therapy is like. Because in my experience, at least, that has not been what it's like. So thank you for backing me up on that. She's got another one. You are the guru. You are the guru. She's not the guru, but you buy the book that she wrote. Not to be confused with I Am Not Your Guru by Tony Robbins. Okay, Super Attractor. This is one where I hear a lot of people talking about. Like, this is the one that Rachel Hollis suggests you read. Judgment Detox. Cool. Universe Has Your Back. Cool. Miracles Now. May Cause Miracles. Are you ready to work miracles? Yes. Learn how consistent shifts in our thinking and actions can lead to the miraculous in all aspects of our daily lives, including our relationships, finances, bodies, and self-image. Oh, Spirit Junkie, okay. In her memoir, what is she, like 40? She's got a memoir already? How she transformed her life, offering my spiritual journey. Okay, I want to read about the part where she says she gets like downloads, like she's where she gets inspiration to write that she doesn't actually write. Okay, let's read this part. She also makes meditations easy, as all meditation should be. Meditation should just be an easier practice, right? That's what we all want. We want everything to be easy, 5 steps or less. One of my biggest mistakes is to make meditation. Wait. I'm projecting my own words onto her screen. One of my biggest missions is to make meditation available to everyone. I've been a devoted meditator since I was 16. I find that unlikely if you didn't get sober until many years later. But okay. Meditation is my source of peace, serenity, and health. But you don't have to meditate for years to reap the benefits of this life-changing practice. I'm always offering resources on meditation. I'm proud to be the co-host of Deepak Chopra's Guinness World Record for the largest group meditation. I make meditation accessible by creating guided meditations that are very easy to follow and help you feel amazing. Okay. Oh, here's Oprah. Someone said this in the comments. All grifts lead back to Oprah. Yes, they do. That's the theme I'm seeing. Okay. She talked in 2017. She shared a very personal story and my 5 steps to spiritual surrender. She's called a new thought leader. Okay. So I don't know what her story is. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. You got to read the book to find out the story. Still not seeing any credentials other than she's a person who got sober, which is not nothing, but it's not a credential to do much more than to be a sponsor for someone else in AA or something, or to talk about your own history. I don't think you're spiritually guiding anybody, but I don't know. Whatever. Spiritual guidance, like I said, doesn't mean anything, so anyone could technically do it. Okay. Oh, Spirit Junkie Masterclass. It's a course. So she's got a course. She's got social. Okay, you can do whatever. Okay, let's see what the course is all about. And this is just me riffing on her. Just to see how much you think. Gain the confidence to fulfill your highest purpose, be abundant, and make an impact. Spirit Junkie Masterclass with Gabby Bernstein. 8-module digital course, extra business module. Can you relate? No. I can't relate. There's Oprah. How much is it? Just tell me how much it is. $2,000? Stop. You're lying. For what? $2,000 to what? A self-paced course? How to step into your purpose? Okay, this sounds like a Dave Hollis book. Step into your purpose and transcend fear. Tap into your greatest source of power. How to hold space. Creating these are all like, okay, buzzword here. Buzzword here. Source of power. Okay, that's a transcend fear. That's a buzzword. Hold space is a buzzword. Abundance mindset is a buzzword. Know your worth. Your sacred contract. Oh, there we go. Okay. Ugh. $2,000. I'm an idiot. I could be making so much money. Hey guys, I'm a spiritual warrior. And I just wanted to tell you that the universe told me that you should buy my course. I will teach you how to think better, feel better, be better. $2,000. If I can get everyone in this chat to buy this course, I'll never have to worry again.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. I see some of the comments like, yeah, these modules are probably like Canva templates. Step 1, believe. Step 2, receive. Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. $2,000. I mean, but I said this in the Cringe Fluencers earlier. We were talking about Tony Robbins. As long as people still buy this crap, they will continue to be here selling this crap. So, you know, I can blame them. I don't think it's right, but I also understand why they're doing it, because there's good money to be made by just putting stuff together and going, yep, I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm above you spiritually. Oh, okay. I believe you. Let's look at her Instagram. Oops. I forgot you guys aren't even watching this anymore. Sorry. I was on the wrong page. Thanks, Just Jake. Aw. Thank you. The ding dong
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
This is basically the behind the scenes look of how I look at these people and then talk about them. This is basically my method. Like, okay, how many followers does she have? Oh my God, 1 million? Oh my God, she's what? Oprah said what about her? Oh my God, it's 2,000. That's what I do to myself. And it's good that at least I have, everyone here at home joining me live to be here to witness the excitement. So thank you again. I want to get to the part where she says that she doesn't actually write anything and that it all comes from source energy. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, she's got the signal, the Rachel Hollis signal. Rock on, guys. I love you. I'm kissing you in my dreams, and I feel all your pain. That's what I think of when I see that people do that. Let's look at her YouTube. Maybe it's on there. I can search for it. Oh, the Miracle membership. I forgot. He brought that up. Let's see. Okay, let's play it.
Sometimes I laugh and think that I started the Miracle membership just so that I could have spiritual friends.
Early in
Also to become wildly rich. Sorry. Okay.
my spiritual awakening, I really longed for clear direction. Someone to tell me what to do. These are the steps. Follow my guidance. Let me show you the way. That's all I wanted. There was so much information out there.
So for those who don't know, this is the woman who was helping Dave and they were interviewing each other essentially on his return from the internet, return from rehab podcast. And this is the person he chose. And this is the person that Rachel Hollis also likes. So now we're just kind of for funsies, just looking at her content to see how cuckoo she is.
With different teachers and different practices, but it was sometimes hard to find and sometimes hard to nail down and sometimes hard to commit to. I really wanted a home base. I also longed for community. I just wanted friends. I just wanted spiritual.
Oh, the fit therapist you bought it? It was bad? Details. How bad? What did you do? What is it about? Give me the basics, please. I'm interested. And this what she's doing right here, the sales pitch, is like the most boring basic sales pitch. I was looking for something that I couldn't find on the internet, and so I created it myself. It's like, you know how many fucking spiritual, how to manifest money courses there are out there? A million. There's a million of them. I don't buy it. Oh, I couldn't find it. Yes, you could. You just wanted a piece of that pie. You wanted to crack a crack of that egg.
Friends. That was it. I wanted people who were into what I was into, as psyched as I was.
Also, if you want friends, find friends. You don't sell time to your friends.
To meditate in the morning and listen to a mantra as I was running. I just wanted that crowd. I wanted that community. So I decided to create it. The promise of the Miracle membership is that you will manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. You're going to manifest your dream world. Great. Okay, Fit Therapist says her story is that she was addicted to cocaine, I believe, and working in PR. She prayed on night and cracked open A Course in Miracles and was basically instantly healed. So she started meditation. Yeah, that sounds about right. And immediately went to being a coach. Yeah, that sounds about right. Most of these people don't even do any work beforehand. They just become the coach first, and through the coaching become some sort of miracle themselves. It's a pretty good system if you ask me. I know. The background music, man. Whoa. So I made it myself. Whoa. Okay, what else? I'm getting all the tea from the Fit Therapist. So I was a member when I first launched. May have been 2016. Anyways, we had these coaching calls. It was equivalent to being an MLM call. It was just a conference call. Yeah. I believe that. don't give up, girly girls. Keep shilling that shampoo. Keep shelling those soul memberships. Just keep getting those miracles. Don't give up. Convince 5 of your friends to have miracles too, and we'll be set for life. We'll retire our husbands.
A group, a community of people all over the world who have come together with a shared intention, which is to feel good. And in the expression of feeling good, we spread more goodness. We spread more joy and more positivity into the world around us. This is the happiest place I've ever seen on the internet. I'm going to be like your spiritual cheerleader. If you're having a hard moment, or you're struggling in a relationship, or you're feeling like you're stuck in some lack, you don't have to figure it out anymore. I am there to be your guide. I'm going to show up in your inbox every Sunday with affirmations, meditations for sleep, meditations.
That's a great meme.
Day.
Why am I talking? I don't know. You tell us, Gabby. Wait. Why am I talking? That's a two-handed selfie. That's an Android selfie. 2 hands.
With affirmations, meditations for sleep, meditations for romance, meditations for manifesting, meditations for anxiety. I could just go on and on and on and on and on. Members have access to the most magnificent Facebook group on the planet. There has never been a place with more love on the internet. It is absolutely gorgeous. And that's where you will feel the support and the love of all of the community members behind you. You'll also get access to hundreds of hours of content, meditations, workshops from years past. And this is what's so beautiful about the membership. It becomes like the Netflix for spirituality.
What are you, Gaia? This is the membership for spirituality? Give me a break.
Membership has given people hope. It's given them faith. It's given them a connection to others. It's given them a sense of ease, even when things in the world are not working out the way we expected them to. When you clean up your internal life, your external life is awesome. Because I can't coach every single one of you individually, this is the greatest contribution I can put forth. Are you ready?
Same. I was also in the cult. No shame. We all start somewhere, you know? I was going through a rough time. I tried to make it work with the New Age stuff, and it's led me here. So you can tell how great it worked out for me. I mean, it worked out great for me ultimately, but the self-help spiritual journey did not last in my life. I couldn't take it.
To create a life that you love. That is the Miracle Membership.
Manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams. How much is this one? This one might not be $2,000. It might be more or less. I'm not sure. You'll get me as your personal coach. I take out all the guesswork to make your personal growth practice easy and fun. Yeah, because we all know personal growth is easy and fun. Said no one ever. Every 3 months, I'll lead one of my 21-day challenges: manifesting, meditation, relationship, body love. Interesting, because Rachel Hollis, now I think Rachel took it from Gabby, not the other way around, but Rachel Hollis does the 90-day challenge, and one of the months, or one of the topics within that was manifesting. None of these people have original thoughts. Between each challenge, I'll help you stay consistent with my weekly coaching calls. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Okay, this one's cheaper. 1 year, $190. So if you don't got $2,000, you can do this one. But I guess this one isn't as. This one. Well, I don't know. This one seems actually to be more useful than the other one. But that's just me. Yeah, she seems pretty boring. I have seen no credentials yet. I'm assuming they're not. What is she? She says she's trained in that therapy thing, but I haven't heard about it here, and I don't think she's gone to school. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that for sure. Birthing affirmations? Does she have children? Yep. I gotta put my email in. Ain't doing that. I am not doing that. Let me search for a second. Let me search. I want to hear the line where she's like, I don't write. I just download information from the internet or from my brain. Bernstein, download source. Where could you be? Gabby Bernstein. Insane. Just kidding. Sometimes I like to search for that stuff because people who, are critical will put keywords like that, and then it helps me find them. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord.
So good.
It says, if miracles are not happening for you, something is wrong. Something's wrong with you if you're not getting constant miracles.
You do have. When you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want. That effortless.
When you create a ClickFunnels account, you will definitely attract people going through tough times that are vulnerable.
Action, that just sort of allowing, I was thinking about that and it just showed up. That's how life is supposed to be. Abundance begins by feeling abundant.
Oh my God, guys. My brain just exploded. Abundance begins by feeling abundant. This is about as useful as John Maxwell's leadership. No, becoming a leader starts with leadership. Whoa. Farting starts with a fart.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan.
Welcome to Believe Nation. I'm going to skip this part.
Let's kick it off with rule number 1. Appreciate what you do have.
If you're in that job where you're feeling like this isn't working for me, I'm not into it, I'm mad about it, I get upset every time I walk into the office. The thing that you're missing here is that, and she's looking at me, she's like, what's she gonna say? I need to know. I was like, give it to me, Gabby, give it to me. The thing that you're missing is that when you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want. Appreciating even the job that isn't the one that you want forever actually helps you attract the next career path. And you think it's counterintuitive because you're thinking, well, I don't want to appreciate this thing I don't want. That's sending out a message to the universe that I want something I don't want. Actually, no. The more you appreciate what's in front of you, the more you become a magnet for what it is that you desire. So if you appreciate that job that's not that great, and you bring an energy that's a little bit more of a high vibe frequency. Apply to all,
high vibe frequencies doesn't mean it's a meaningless term, buzzword. But I always think of okay, so a guy, let's say you're in an abusive relationship. Appreciate that person in that relationship because then you'll be attracted to the next one. Or just jobs because that's a safe, very safe topic to attribute this to. Because they all say this is universal law. This is a law written by Zeus in Olympus. Law, girl. And I'm like, okay, so apply to all? No, just jobs and not controversial topics. Oh, okay, cool. Just want to make sure the parameters of this, because they're never apply all. Okay, I get the gist of this one. What's the second rule? Manifest what you want. Okay. This could be found literally in any spiritual person's stuff. This is the most basic level. This is the free ebook you see everywhere.
Rule number 2, manifest what you want.
So for our audience, can you define what exactly is manifesting?
It's a brand new topic, never been discussed before on the internet.
Manifesting is acquiring.
She appears in the Doctor. Of course she does. I've met Dr. Oz before. Therefore I coach Dr. Oz. He's one of my clients. No, I did meet him though once when I worked in TV news. He was nice. I can't lie. He was a nice guy. He gave his time very generously. He was like, he shook everyone's hand. It was really nice. You know who wasn't nice though that I also met once? Wendy Williams. She was not very nice. She was actually extremely rude and had traveled with an entire entourage of like 7 people and forced them to go and buy hot sauce for her because she didn't want to eat any of the food that we had there that she had to eat on camera. And so she's like, I'm going to just douse it in hot sauce. Anyways, that's my own personal opinion. I am now a coach. I'm a celebrity coach because I've met these people and my experience is worth $1 million. Please pay me $2,000. I will tell you more of my stories.
Sharing the experience of what it is that you want to feel and being and living and believing in that experience and then allowing that experience to come into form. Manifesting is very creative. It is the process of using your power energy and being in that presence of your high-powered energy and allowing that energy to co-create with the energy that's around you. So you're vibrating at a high frequency. I'm vibrating at a high frequency.
Girl.
We've done a lot of work. We've cleaned up a lot of our own crap. We believe in ourselves today. And that...
Oh, thank you, Elle. Just Elle. You're a simple gal. Or gent. Elle. I think I can't tell. The pictures are so tiny on the screen. And yeah, whoever heard the meow, Taro's here. I can't grab the camera because it's too far away, and she won't let me pick her up, but can you meow? Say hi. She's disinterested. Okay, she's manifesting. She's a vibrator. She's vibing high. She's higher than all the other vibes. Okay, change your perspective. Be authentic. All right. Give love. Improve your productivity. Follow the fun. Be the light. Well, I guess I'll have to find this on my own time. And for everyone just joining, Gabby Bernstein is not Dave Hollis's new girlfriend. Maybe. She looks kind of like Heidi, sort of. But she's just she said she loves Dave, so who knows? The night is young. The year is young. It's not too late to move to a new blonde woman, Dave. But she was the one who interviewed or was on the podcast with Dave that we just listened to. So if you haven't listened to that, you can rewind this live stream and watch it, and you can hear the whole thing. And I swear, I only stopped it 27,000 times to make comments. So while we're here, while we're just having a little chat in the Cringe Talk studio, I see people want Teal Swan. I definitely want to do Gabby Bernstein. Who else do you guys want? I see John of God in Psychic Surgery. I have no idea what that is, but I'm down. I'm down to Google that. Oh, everyone knows him? Okay. While we're here, also. Oh, thank you, Maple Locks. You must be from Canada. No? You did. It was American money.
It is 18 American dollars.
But I'm surprised an American would have maple in their username. I'm impressed.
18 stinking dollars.
Let's just do an AMA. Ask me anything. I haven't eaten very much today, so I am ready to answer questions. Okay, I see someone said, did Heidi and Dave break up? No, I don't think so. I think he said that he has a partner. So he didn't say business. It could be business partner, but he didn't say that. So perhaps they are together. I think they are. I think they're still together. I think the reason why he's coming out now is because he has been committed to go to SUSCon, which is Show Up. I'll show you. That's coming up soon. That's coming up in like a couple weeks. HeidiPowell.net/showup. Her conference that's sold out, allegedly. One of the prizes or one of the incentives to pay $4,000 for, she took, oh no, it's still there. VIP lunch with Heidi and Dave during the event. So it's the 4th through the 6th in Chandler, Arizona. So he's got to be ready to go for that. He can't just come back that day. He's got to be, teaching the people about how to be better before that. So, okay, let's see. Mel Robbins, hell yeah. I'm sick of hearing her talk. Sorry. She's on this. I want to make a spectrum graphic at one point, like the spectrum. Oh, there's the kitty. Here, go up. Sorry. You'll see the tail every once in a while. Tarot's on the desk. Maybe I can show you her. Hold on. Oh, there she is. Mel Robbins knows better. That's the thing. Mel Robbins gets involved. She speaks for all the MLM. She spoke for Rodan and Field. She spoke for Monet. She spoke at some other ones. And she is well educated. She has credentials. She is a lawyer. She's been on CNN as a commentator, as like someone who got paid by CNN to be there, not just like a guest. So the fact that she's giving people an MLM advice, like as if it's real and not a pyramid scheme, to me just seems super grimy and gross. And her lessons in the world are count back from 5 before you get out of bed. It'll help your life. I mean, I guess, but she says she makes $100,000 to speak on stage for an hour. To me, I feel like that's obscene. And not necessarily that she's not worth it or whatever, but what person would be worth $100,000 to just talk about what? How her husband and her got screwed during the recession. Yeah, so did everyone else. Oh, we recovered. So did a lot of people. Some people didn't, but a lot of other people did. And her solution was, I counted back from 5. And then she says, I was an alcoholic. And then she still drinks. So it's like, so what did you accomplish? You just are better than everyone else?
That is cheating.
Anyways, let's see what else. Jay Shitty, yep. I'm totally not a fan of his either. Let's see. Yeah, Jay. He's got some anger, weirdly enough, as for a former monk. Okay. Suspicious value, yeah. Suscon, yeah. It's still happening. Okay, here's a good one. If you could ask Rachel Hollis any question and she had to answer honestly, what would your question be? I think I would ask this.
Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
Then I would leave. That's a good one. I guess I would ask her. I don't know, because I feel like she would. Well, if she had to tell me the truth, do you feel bad? Do you feel bad about what you do secretly, deep down? Because I feel like sometimes she does it because she feels like she has to and she has to make money. But do you feel guilt for lying about your marriage? Because I think she does, but I don't think it benefits her to admit that necessarily at this point. But yeah, I wonder how she feels about that, about her marriage. Like if she feels, or I guess maybe like what was no, change that. That was too deep. Whatever, stupid. What's Dave's double life? Because she talks about that in a podcast. Dave lived a double life. What is that? I would love to know that. What was his double life? Because that's been up in the air for a while. Favorite food? Boring. Pizza. Cheese pizza. Which pizza, you ask? Papa John's. I also like Little Caesars, though. But if I'm going gourmet, Papa John's pizza. Because of their garlic sauce. And I love Maintenance Phase podcast. I found it because of Rachel Hollis. So she did help me there. I think that's such a good, it's well produced. I really like it, and they do their research pretty well. I don't agree with everything they say, but I think it's still entertaining and good. How old is Taro? Taro, how old are you? Tell me the truth. She is, I got her in 2013, and now it is 2022. So, and she was almost a year at that point. So she thinks like 7 or 8 would be about right. I think she's 8. Her name was Link when I first got her as a little kitty, and then I changed it to Taro. She's the sweetest girl in the whole world. She wants me to pet her because she's feeling like, okay, you've been at your desk all day today. Enough. She's sweet. She's tarot, like tarot card, but I would do tarot cards just for fun, but I wouldn't believe like, oh, this is telling me about my life. Tips or heals our YouTube channel. Honestly, the real tip is you have a job or have someone to support you while you do it if you really want to make money from it and become full-time, because it takes a long time. And I've been doing this for a year, part-time. Still do it primarily part-time. But without my fiance's financial support, it would not be doable, at least for me, because it takes so long to establish things and to get AdSense and get monetized. And if you make a mistake, you get demonetized, and it's, the whole hours and hours and hours you spent on that video doesn't count. So you can't really depend on it for a full-time income for a while. So that'd be my advice. Find someone that will support you financially. Much like Rachel's advice that she doesn't give, but she did. Louise, hey, I just bought the book to review it. The book that Rachel recommended called How to Heal Your Life, because I feel like it's going to be a bunch of nonsense, and I want to confirm that before I say that. So I just ordered it on Amazon. It was like $9. So, and yes, I have Stream Deck, which is a new box thing. I can't show it because the camera's over there, but I'll show you what it looks like on the computer. If only I had access to a system in which I could bring up photos that looked like the thing I'm talking about. And this is what I have. I have this one. Doo-doo. And so I can load them in, and there's a folder. I have a folder of Dave, and I have a folder of Rachel, and I have other ones coming. So as we go, I'm going to start cutting different sound bites because I think it's fun. And H3 does this. They have a person who pulls the sound bites and who does it, but I really like H3's podcast for the most part. There's some downsides to it, but I like the humor part of it. So when I realized we could do sound bites, I was like, oh, heck yeah. Okay. Oh, you should move to Canada one day. You'll fit right in. Everyone there loves syrup. Let's see. Okay, going down. Really, Louise Hay? I think she's kind of controversial, right? Good question. I don't know. We're waiting. We got engaged in July, so we're taking our time, especially because of COVID. I don't know. Being married is something that I'm still getting used to, the idea of it. So I think I need a little more time to also mentally prepare for that, of being committed and all that. Even though we've lived together for over 2 years and been together for 5 years essentially. And commitment. Ah! So we're taking our time. Yeah, she's so needy, but in the cutest way possible. I was born in Fort Erie, Canada, near the border of Buffalo, New York. Random, I know. Now I live in Florida. I'm not going to take where in Florida because I don't want anyone to kill me. If I could erase one MLM, guru, nonsense monger, which one would you pick? MLM, the most annoying one to me is Monate, to be honest. They're probably not the worst, but the one I am constantly, Monet is the one I see the most probably on my feed, personal feed. And then secondly, Beachbody. Because I loved Insanity and I liked P90X, and I feel like I can't tell anyone that I liked them because now they're going to think I'm like trying to recruit them. And I liked Bobby Blanks or whatever his name was, the guy who, he's not a part of the MLM scheme, but he does the classes. And I feel like, oh, I like that guy. They're like, ugh. It's like, damn it. I don't like the model, but like the workouts are good. Okay, good. I'm glad she's hot garbage because I didn't want to waste a book on something that was interesting. Yes, very fresh. Here's my ring. Here's my ring, everybody, so I can stay in focus. It's nice, right? One day you'll meet my fiance when he's ready. When I'm ready and he's ready. No way. Where? Where are you from? Are you in Niagara Falls? Toronto? Where are you? Oh, Lord. If I was forced to spend a day with Dave Hollis, what would I do? Take me to Disney headquarters. I'm sure he's got the key card. Introduce me to some executives at Disney so I can understand how the other half lives. Yeah, take me to Disney World and the VIP tour. And take me to dinner. And I'm sure Heidi would be there recording the whole thing so everyone could see what we would do. I don't think Dave would like me. I think Rachel and I would get along okay. I have this weird thing about Rachel. Like when Tony Robbins was being mean to her, I thought was like dismissing her and not letting her speak. I was like, no one's allowed to be rude to Rachel. You can criticize her with good reason, but you can't be rude to her. I have this like weird, like stand up for her thing. Even to Dave, it's like, Dave, back off. Like, as much as Rachel has issues, I still want her to succeed in some level. Because I do admire that she tries. She does not give up. She took a little break from the internet, but she didn't make the whole announcement of the break like Dave did. So, she does have grit. She needs to work on it, but, there are a lot of things to admire about her in some ways. Issues, for sure, as I've talked about in 25 videos. But, she's not all these people are all bad or all good. But Dave, I think, is worse than Rachel. Less interesting, at least. Billy Blank. Oh, yeah, that guy. That's who. I like it. I don't know. Is he controversial? I don't think so. You met Billy Blanks? Was he nice? Who is that? Doreen Virtue. Huh, okay. I like it. Oh, Young Living. Yeah, Young Living has some controversial roots. Very interesting roots. And they're having like a whole breakdown right now, so it's kind of interesting to watch. Young Living is like freaking out because they came out with like a spiritual guide, and Young Living is very Mormon, and they're like, oh my God, this is the devil. So it's interesting to watch in real time, as Dave would say. I need to get that one on there. Ah, Niagara. Okay. I have a friend in Welland. Are you close to Welland? They've lived there forever. They're still there. I was up there a couple years ago, before the pandemic. I can't go to Canada. I don't know if I can go even yet. I probably won't go back for a while, to be honest, though. Even though the border may reopen. That's funny. Small world. That's true. That's a true statement. I think she thinks it was. She released the second half, which we talked about last night in a video, and she seemed to be. Wait, did we talk about it? No, we didn't. Oh my God. I just forgot. I didn't even talk about that yet. Rachel Hollis' second half. Okay, I can't do it tonight. There's no way. But tomorrow maybe? Or maybe Monday. You might have to hold that off. You might have to keep the anticipation going. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I agree. That's a good, yeah, she leaves the kids off. If the kids are off social media, mad respect. Rad respect. That's a big thing for me is using the kids, and Dave definitely used the kids, in my opinion. Oh, thank you. I hope you're talking about me. I thought I just accepted this as a compliment. Ah. He's so nice. Oh, good. I am. And boosted, baby. I'm coming. I'm going to get some maple syrup. Oh my God. King and water. There's a good channel, Annie's Analysis, who talks about king and water. I think it's pointless and meaningless, and it's just another grift. I could be wrong, but I mean, water has levels and stuff, and they claim to do all this amazing things, but who knows? I think you're probably best to just drink water filtered from your tap is probably best in a Brita. But then again, what the heck do I know? Yeah, I know. I was like, I did that already. I'm like, no, I didn't. That was today when this came out. Today's been a long day. I had a pretty emotional therapy session this morning, so I feel like I've also...
But also?
It feels like longer than normal because I did the stream with Keya, Cringefluencers, which everyone should go follow. If you haven't, I'll show you what that looks like. We talk every Thursday about this types of topics, essentially. And she does it from Romania, and I do it from America. Oh, thank you. Kara Georgis. Nope. Kara Georgis. Georgis. Family. Thank you for subbing. Okay, I'm looking up. Oh, wait. It's cringe. Okay. There it is. Here it is. Cringefluencers. And that's Keya if you can't. She's right there. That's me and her, obviously. And we've never met in person, but we've met, obviously, via the internet, which is basically the same thing these days. Aww. You're probably thinking of Niagara-on-the-Lake, maybe? Thanks, JB. Oh, the Canadian currency. I will take it, and I will print it out, and we will use it.
It is 18 American dollars.
Which is basically the same thing as the Canadian dollar these days.
18 stinking dollars.
Thank you very much.
Unfollow me.
Now that you've paid me.
Unfollow me.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Welland, yeah, that's so funny. 20 minutes away. That's awesome. Something that I did when I was with the life coach was this thing called Psych, like psychology, Psych K. And basically, what I had to do was have a thought in my head about, like, okay, for example, I am bad with money, for example, right? So I'm bad with money. So then I'd have to close my eyes and, like, put my arms out, like, oh, let me show you. Just get a better, fuller scene. I'd put my arms out like this, and I'd think about it, and then I'd have to go like this. And that was supposed to heal me from feeling like I was bad with money. So that was a little crazy. And then that same person that taught me how to do that, and we would do it together. So I never did it alone. She would tell me what to do all the time. Like, okay, what's your thought? Okay, think it. Okay, now open your arms and push them, whatever. And she'd do this thing where you put your arm out, and she'd be like, okay, are you ready to be healed? And she would go like this. And if it went down, it was no. And if it didn't go down, it was up. or it was, I was allowed to be, my subconscious was telling her I was ready to be healed or whatever. So that was a little crazy. Don't recommend. I don't think it's dangerous necessarily, but it's just stupid. And then she told me later that she believed that we were sisters in a past life and that she could talk to the dead spirits. And I was like, I'm out. I could do this for a while, and believe all that crap. And then I was like, okay, not talking to the dead. I'm not there. So that was a little bit. So he said he called it a facility, mental health facility. But, if you take what his statement was and match it to where he was physically in the room, it was like, yeah, rehab / mental health. And I think he actually does mention that it was mental health, rehab and mental health. But he didn't say what he was there for other than to take a break from his life, is the way he said it. I'm worn down. No, I'm okay. It's 9:48, so as long as I'm in bed by 11, I'm good. I have my haircut appointment tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I used to. I have taken a break a little bit from MLM stuff because I watched that for like months and months and months straight before I started my channel, and then I was like, I don't know. I feel like I hit a peak of it, and I was like, okay, no more. And I took a break, and that was when all the drama was happening with people leaving the community and talking about each other, and I just kind of was like, I'm out. I'm gonna go, and then I haven't gone back. But I did like her. I follow her on Instagram, and she lives in Florida too, and I like her content a lot. I'm a fan. Anna's now says, yep, that's the one. Okay. The Fit Therapist. I like this insider's tea. Okay, she found the old Gabby receipts. She paid $190 for a year membership in 2015 for her membership. It was called Get More Gabby. This is so weird, like access. I mean, I get it. Like, what are you supposed to do to make money? But it's just so weird, like, access me. And she's like, I wanted friends, so I decided to create this thing that cost $200. Get More Gabby. Robert Schuler. Now I choose sadness. Yes! Choose sadness. If you want gear for choose sadness, like I said, there's merch now. If you weren't here in the beginning where I plugged the merch, it's in the description of this video. This is what the merch is. There's mugs, black and white mugs, stickers, shirts, sleeves, hoodies, bags, other shirts. I have this one. I just ordered, my fiance ordered the mask. And I have this one too, the long sleeve, and then the white mug, and then the sticker. So I don't have these 3-4 things. One day when everyone pays me $2,000 to be my friend, I'll be able to afford my own merch. One day. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. I love doing live streams most, and I didn't even know this was an option. So I really enjoy this format. I like to do the other format too. I shouldn't say that. I like the outcome. Like the video about Dr. Amen that no one watched. I mean, people watched it, but not as many people watched this one as they watched. I had an ad on it, so that was cool. Oops. But it took me so long to put it together and like find all the information and do the graphics and do the green screen and stuff. And then for it not to do as well, and then it also was hard. I don't know. I feel like it comes off as not as much like authentic as me in that sense. Like I'm reading a script, so it's more robotic, and I'd rather just be more myself. But I like that it's there and it has all the information that you would need to feel like, okay, this is a full picture of what this guy does, the brain scan dude who brain scans everybody. But I like doing live streams better. I like just the interaction and being able to talk and just chill. I like the sound bites and all that stuff. So I probably will be moving more towards this in the future. But then again, who the heck knows? I don't know. Who am I to say? This is all new to me, so. Receive 100% of these domains. I think Taros. I don't know what that question means, but Taro has something to say about it apparently. Donations. I think so. So because it's only been like a month since I've done live streams and since anyone has sent a chat, I haven't gotten the payments yet. So I think, but I'm not sure. I also believe I'm going to switch, and I haven't officially decided this yet, but I'm thinking about switching Patreon into a membership for YouTube, because since we are doing live streams a lot, you can get special emojis for the live streams, which I think would be really fun. If you're a member, you could have special emotes and special labels that show that you're a member on the stream. And since the chats are pretty lively and fun, I think that would be a cool thing to have. So I'll go back to Taro because she wants to say hi. So, you know, you can make I was trying to make a little pancake emoji because you can make custom emojis. We could have different things that show off some flair. So that was my thought. Haven't decided officially yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I would transfer everyone from Patreon over for free or whatever, you know, so they don't have to repay because they supported me from the beginning. So we'll just transfer over. But I think that could be fun. But again, I haven't fully fleshed it out yet. I love these guys. I sure do. No. Yeah. That'd be good. That's a very pile. Well, we'll start with what's the guy from the hills? It all started back in probably millions of years ago when crystals were forming. It started with Spencer, Spidey, Heidi and Spencer. Not Heidi Powell, not to be confused with Heidi Powell. Spencer and Heidi from the hills. That's the first time I heard of like a crystal bro. I think he still has a crystal company too, so I think it all passed back to Spencer and Heidi and Oprah. That's a good idea. Yeah, snag on the lake. Coaching calls are pushed this time. Gabby, no one can ask questions. Wait. I also forgot the coaching calls were pushed as this time with Gabby, but no one could ask a question. It was her talking a mile a minute. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now she talks like a mile a second. Or no, a mile an hour. She talks really slow now. At least with Dave. Maybe she's bored. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Huh. I've never experienced a hypnotist before. One of my clients back in the day was a magician. I would do video work for him. It's weird. But obviously that's fake. I think that's how it should be. Self-help should be like, well, we all know this is fake, but we're all here for the entertainment anyways. Magicians do it. Why can't we do this for self-help and spirituality stuff? Let's see. Life coach. Okay, I worked with a life coach in 2020. She mostly asked me questions about why I was defeating my work before I did it. She actually helped me back into freelance writing. That's good. Yeah, I think as long as they're not promising like, hey, I'm going to heal your trauma and I'm going to save you and I'm going to like tell you that, you know, God wants you to go do something crazy. Yeah, all power to you. I mean, whatever. I think it's when it crosses over into the people, you really need therapy and the life coach is like offering to help you and it's not actually helping. All of us were on mute. I got my notification. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. Hold on. I hope everyone sends me a photo on Instagram or something of them wearing it so I can tag it and keep it. And it's so cool. Can you imagine walking in Niagara Falls and just like someone's got a Choose Sadness shirt and I'm like, oh my God. What up? That would be awesome. Yes. I know. I told Camelia because it was midnight. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna go play tennis later. And then I'm like, I text her like 20 minutes later after it started raining. I'm like, okay, I'm actually gonna do a live stream. Sorry. Changed it. Oh, thank you. I liked it too. I think it was still worth it to make that video, even though it didn't do that great. But I liked it. It just took a long time. It takes forever. I mean, that's video editing. That's just how the industry is. That's how the medium is. It takes so long. Candace Cameron. I don't know who that is. Huh. Okay, I'll look her up. Oh, I know. Full House. Okay, right? Candace? No, the other Full House. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, guys. Everyone liked the video. Thank you. Everybody in the world loves this video. Ava, you got a lot to learn. A lot to catch up on. I can't tell you, though. I can't tell you the secrets. You gotta go back in time. Otherwise...
That is cheating.
I have to like literally reach over Taro to grab the buttons now. All right. It's nearing the 10 o'clock mark for me. Maybe. I'm probably not going to come to Canada for a while. I'm probably going to be like 50 years old before I go to Canada again. No, maybe. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe. Oh yes, American flag sucks. I love it. Yeah, if you have, I'll make a post in the community tab and on YouTube, and I'll ask when we do the emojis, like which ones you want, because that's a good idea. The American flag sucks and pancakes. I'm trying to think of other ones that would translate into pixels, because you can't. It can be somewhat detailed, but not totally detailed. They're kind of, they're like emojis. They got limits. They're like onions, and you're peeling the onions. And then the vacuum comes out, and then you're outside of yourself. Oh. I'm a runner and an onion with a vacuum inside. That's me. All right, everybody. This has been fun. I'm glad we got to do a little chill at the end. This doesn't happen very often. Usually we're right on time, wrapping it up, leaving it out. But this time, we're mixing it up. We're living, we're loving, we're laughing. And we're leaving now. Goodbye. Love you. No, I'm going to do this one. Don't love you, because I don't know you deeply and intimately. Sorry about it. Tara says bye. Okay, thank you. Seriously, though. Thank you for joining me. It was fun. Dave's back, everybody. Grab your maps. We're getting off the island. We're back. Okay, bye.